start. Okay.
Okay. Give me the confirmation once we are live.
Yeah, okay. Arnab, you are live, you are ready to go.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I hope I am audible. If there is some problem at your end or in my end, like if I am not audible, please write it in the chat box. Am I audible? Yes. Yes. Okay. So very good evening to one and all present here. Myself, Arnav Adhikari, the core team member of BeingArtifex, ITS in Dhanbad. I've got the golden opportunity to be a part of today's evening and welcome you all to today's live session. On behalf of Team BeingArtifex, I welcome all the participants, our director sir, uh, Pankaj Mishra sir, all our faculty members, and also last but not the least, our core team as well. Today we have with us a very special chief guest, all the way from NASA. We will be having him from 5:30 p.m. Before that, uh, we will have some quick
Director
interactions.
sir has joined.
Director sir has joined. Okay, thank you. Uh, so before that, we will be having a quick interactions with all of them. Without the support, this wasn't possible to make this event a successful one. Remember 22nd April, it all started from there. On 22nd April, we had a live session, an interactive live session though, similar to this, and we announced our pre-events. And then pre-events were there. Moving forward, we had three pre-events, interactive sessions, more streams with the people who are experienced, top educators, motivational speakers, and also people from Google to motivate you, to make you aware of things going around us, and to tell you about many technological and non-technological aspects as well to make you aware. So in the last few months, we had good interactions. We learned many things together. We built up a community, and we were learning. It's not that as we were the mentors and we were teaching you, so you just learned. It's every time a two-way interaction. Whenever we used to prepare PPTs or assignments for you, we always had a revision or maybe a brush ups to our concepts as well. So it was a very beautiful journey with you guys, still going on, but now we are very close to the ending. All this wouldn't be possible, could not have been possible without the immense help and support of some of the people we will call on mic. And with their support only, we have achieved this landmark. And today, we all have gathered here to be a part of this evening, basically for the grand ending ceremony. And from my vision, I must tell that there is nothing such ending ceremony, basically. So every ending has a initiates a beginning of something. So basically, I would like to call it as a beginning ceremony. So let's see. With this, I would like to introduce my co-host of today's evening, Manish Kumar. Over to you, Manish.
थैंक यू अर्णव तो नमस्कार मैं मनीष कुमार बीइंग आर्टिफैक्ट फैमिली की ओर से यहाँ उपस्थित IITSM धनबाद के डायरेक्टर और NVCTI के हेड माननीय पंकज मिश्रा सर और सभा में उपस्थित सभी जनों और छात्र छात्राओं का सादर निमंत्रित करता हूँ और स्वागत करता हूँ तो और आशा करता हूँ कि आप सभी इस इवेंट को सफल बनाने में हमारी पूरी मदद करेंगे और इस इवेंट को एक यादगार पल की तरह अपने साथ ले जाएंगे थैंक यू
Thank you, Manish. So heading forward for this quick interactive session with our supportive ones from our institute. First, I would like to call on mic our director, sir, Professor Rajiv Sekhar, sir, to speak a few words to initiate this ending ceremony. He has always been a very motivating person. for us throughout the journey. Good evening, sir.
Thank you, Arnab. Thank you, Manish. First, I wanted to congratulate you for successfully hosting this skeleton. I was a little apprehensive in the beginning, but I'm glad it has really come out well. I was very happy to know from when you said that you had a two-way interaction, and this is the beginning of a new journey. And see, most of the students are from school. So I would say this is the new journey towards innovation. And you have to understand innovation is not always about starting a business. Innovation is a state of the mind. And innovation comes everywhere. So suppose you get a problem in physics. There are ways of solving it which you get in any textbook. But can you come up with a more elegant way of solving the problem more simply? So that is innovation. It also tells you that, it also teaches you that you have to learn to ask the question why. कई बार स्कूल्स में क्या होता है, हम लोग को जो पढ़ाते हैं हम लोग उसको रट लेते हैं और उसके बाद एग्जाम में उसको वही उगल देते हैं और अच्छे मार्क्स आ जाते हैं. Marks lana is important, but for a long term view, it is important to understand the subject well. क्योंकि बाद में खाली नौकरी, ये खाली बिजनेस ही नहीं, सपोज नौकरी में एक अच्छे कंपनी गूगल या फेसबुक या कहीं ज्वाइन करे, या अमेजॉन या इंडिया में भी सपोज रिलायंस ज्वाइन करे, सबका मकसद ये होता है कि कैसे अपना प्रॉफिट बढ़ाए, कैसे विजिबिलिटी बढ़ाए. और ये तभी होता है जब आप कुछ नया सोचें. और नया सोचना is a mental frame of mind. If you keep on asking why, and then you try to find the answer of that why, you will be very successful in your life. So again, I express my gratefulness to the BeingArtifex team. Boss, you have done a great job. And as I said, कि ये आपके लिए भी एक शुरुआत है और आप इसके बाद और भी बुलंदियों को छुएं. और इसके साथ मैं अपने NVCTI के से जुड़े हैं प्रोफेसर पंकज मिश्रा, प्रोफेसर अजीत कुमार रे और जो अन्य प्रोफेसर है उनको धन्यवाद देता हूं. और प्रोफेसर धीरज कुमार जो डीन इनोवेशन एंड इंक्यूबेशन है उनको भी ध्यान देता हूं. और मैं ये चाहता हूं कि आपका ये प्रयास फले फूले. धन्यवाद.
Thank you so much, sir. Means a lot.
तो आगे बढ़ने से पहले मैं NVCTI की टीम अजीत कुमार सर, रंजन कुमार सर, अरुण दयाल सर, ताराचंद अंगोज सर, हमारे इस टॉक शो पर आने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद व्यक्त करता हूँ. उसी के साथ मैं चाहूँगा माननीय पंकज मिश्रा सर BeingArtifex के टॉक शो पर आए और दर्शकों को अपने शब्दों से प्रेरित करें. पंकज मिश्रा सर.
Thank you, Manish. Thank you very much.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening to the entire team of BeingArtifex. डॉक्टर सर को भी गुड इवनिंग. एंड धीरज सर भी ज्वाइन किए हुए हैं. धीरज सर को गुड इवनिंग. So in the beginning itself, Director sir said that in the beginning, when Arnab, Aman, Akshay, Aniket, the entire team approached us with the idea of this event, that they are going to make it a nationwide program, we were a little bit skeptical that how it is going to turn out, because initially we were not able to understand the entire objective and the modus operandi of the entire event. But then we started interacting with these people, and we were amazed with the clarity of their vision and the methodical chalk out plan of the entire event. And it was so motivating for us also, for the NVCTI team also, that our mission of this center, which is to generate an ecosystem of innovation throughout the nation. They have taken it to the remotest corner of India. So I would like to thank our B team. So Artifex is our B team now. They have done exceptional job, and now they are here with the closing ceremony of this event. And this, I'm amazed to see this, that they have planned the closing ceremony by 5th of July, and today is 4th of July. So this is something which is amazing, that in spite of this this lockdown period and all sorts of hurdles and all sorts of delays in launching of the event, they have successfully completed the first part of their event. So I would like to thank to the entire team. I would like to thank all the participants who reciprocated with the call of our team, and they got benefited with their efforts. So see, the whole idea was to generate knowledge, which, as per the Kalam's saying, that knowledge means creativity plus righteousness and plus courage. So I hope that all these three elements of knowledge has been imparted to you through this the entire 1 month, entire the duration of the this event. And so I thank everyone. I thank my teammate Ajit Kumar, especially because he interacted with these with the Artifex team to make to bring the actual shape of the event, which they have done. So overall, we are very hopeful because all these people are very young. I can see Arnab 19 JE, so he is still in his second year. So we are finding good people for our institute. They will now they are going to be the flag bearer of our next generation of the NVCTI team. So thank you, Arnab, and thanks to the entire administration, because they have provided the logistic support, and they were always been encouraging and supportive to us. However stupid idea we used to bring, they were always supportive, and they used to motivate us. Especially Dheeraj sir is the backbone behind all our efforts. Whatever we do, we take to Dheeraj sir, and then he is the person who makes the things at the right place. So thank you Arnab, thank you Aman, thank you Akshay, thank you Aniket and the team. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, Manish, am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay.
जैसे अर्नब मैं बोलना चाह रहा था कि 4th of July आपको याद करा दूं, यूएसए का इंडिपेंडेंस डे है जो इनोवेशन का गढ़ मारा जाता है.
Yes, sir. So we have someone from USA as well. Before that, we have someone very supportive who has also been supportive throughout the journey of this Skillathon since starting till today. We have Dr. Girja Varat ma'am. Aman, please welcome Girja Varat ma'am. Good evening, ma'am, to speak a few words in this warm occasion of ending ceremony.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, sir. I'm really honored that our director, sir, is also here, Rajesh Shekhar, sir. Thank you so much for having me here in this August gathering. And it marks not a small step. It's a giant leap, because as said, today is US Independence Day, and then you are having this event here. You are doing commendable job and sustaining through the pandemic, taking the students, keeping them motivated. And since I was associated with it, I was taking note of how the feedback from students, because some of the students are known to me, and I always got very positive feedback from this. And the students were extremely enlightened and delighted that ISM seniors are imparting this training with the great support of the mentors of NVCAT team, and then the director himself was there in the inaugural function, and he's here today in the closure ceremony. And computer science is going to be there for a long time, and you have really pitched in at the right time when the students were free and they had very absorptive mind to focus on these things and learn new skills. It's really commendable. Entire team, really congratulate all of you for your persistent grit and determination to take this forward and make it very meaningful for the students who have sustained it through the pandemic time and made it a memorable journey for them in the learning platform. We are all lifelong learners, as I had mentioned in my last speech also, been there in ISM 32 years back, and really glad that my juniors are doing really good work. Besides academics, ISM is also a great place wherever we meet, any part of the globe, wherever when we were in US for many years. ISM friends, oh yes, we had a party we would have. So that is the camaraderie which is distinguishing ISM from all the other institutions, I feel. I have studied in many other institutions of distinguished learning, but then ISM and IIT Dhanbad is something which is in our blood, and we really are very proud of it. Keep the spirit going, wishing everybody all the very best, and thanks again to give me this opportunity to be with all of you. Thanks.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I would like to call my another core team member, Aniket, to introduce the complete core team of BeingArtifex second year, IITSM Dhanbad. Aniket?
So if I'm audible and visible?
Yeah, you are audible, Aniket. Yeah, you are visible as well.
Okay. So first of all, namaste to everyone. This is Aniket Raj from IITS Dhanbad, the core team member of BeingArtifex. So जब भी डायरेक्टर सर ने कहा कि BeingArtifex team is just going perfect, BeingArtifex team is just doing perfect, तो BeingArtifex team हर बार mention हुई. And the most awaited part, आज हम आपको अपने BeingArtifex team से introduce कराना चाहेंगे. BeingArtifex team जो कि हर बार हर जगह अवेलेबल रही, और मोस्ट प्रोबेबली कहना गलत नहीं हुआ कि बिना इस टीम के ये इवेंट सक्सेसफुली और इतना प्लान्ड वे में जब डेडलाइन थी उस टाइम हो जाना नहीं हो पाता. सो बिना टाइम किसी वेस्ट किए मैं अपनी बीइंग आर्टिफैक्ट्स टीम को इंट्रोड्यूस करना चाहूंगा. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मैं ओवरऑल कोऑर्डिनेटर्स को बुलाना चाहूंगा जिन्होंने ओवरऑल चीजें देखी, प्रॉपर्ली कंडक्ट किया और हर चीजों को अलग नोटिस करा रहा कि हर सब कुछ सही जा रहा हो. तो ओवरऑल कोऑर्डिनेटर्स जस्ट कम फॉरवर्ड एंड से समथिंग.
Hello, am I audible? Hello? Aniket, am I audible?
Yes.
So hi everyone. So first of all, warm welcome to our respected director sir, respected Girija Bharat ma'am, respected Gabe sir, respected Pankaj sir. So it was an honor that you said like everything was going fine and you have loved the whole session. सर मैं बहुत तहे दिल से आप लोगों से ये कहना चाहूँगा कि सर बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आप लोगों ने हम पर इतना भरोसा किया और इस इवेंट को हम इस लेवल पे सक्सेस कर पाए. सर हम दोनों ओवरऑल स्टूडेंट कोऑर्डिनेटर्स साथ में हैं और जो पूरा इवेंट है हम लोगों ने हमने अपनी तरफ से बहुत कुछ किया, हमने बहुत कुछ किया, लेकिन सर ये बिना पूरी टीम के पॉसिबल ही नहीं हो पाता. मैं सच कहना चाहूँगा कि अगर ये टीम नहीं होती तो ओवरऑल कोऑर्डिनेटर्स वर वर्थलेस. बिना इन लोगों के, बिना इन दोस्तों के और बिना आईएसएम के ये सपना, ये बीइंग आर्टिफैक्ट्स को इतना बड़ा मुकाम देना सर ये कभी पॉसिबल नहीं होता. थैंक यू वेरी मच सर.
Yeah. Hello everyone, myself Aman Kumar. As my friend Aman has said, we are all a team here present here, our big family, and we all work together to make this possible. Now handing over to our next team.
Okay, so best of luck to all the participants who are working hard and giving their best. I would love to say that ये जर्नी यहाँ खत्म नहीं होगी, फिर मिलेंगे, दोबारा मिलेंगे और यहीं मिलेंगे आईएसएम में. Thank you very much.
So they were our overall coordinators. उन्होंने गलत कहना नहीं होगा, उन्होंने अपना जॉब बहुत अच्छे से निभाया और everything was just perfect and perfectly coordinated. So at the second, public relation managers जिनसे शायद सभी मिलना चाहते होंगे क्योंकि इतने अच्छे गेस्ट टॉक्स कराना बाकी चीज स्पॉन्सर्स वगैरह से कनेक्टेड रहना और प्रॉपरली देखते रहना कि पब्लिक रिलेशंस अच्छे रहे हमारे, बिकॉज पब्लिक रिलेशंस वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट दैट वी हैव टू परफॉर्म परफेक्टली. So public relation teammates, just come forward. Public relation, just come forward.
Hello, Aniket, are you getting my voice?
Yes, Harishankar.
Yeah, hello everyone. This is Harishankar, public relation team head. Working as a head of public relation, my experience was great. Like I got opportunity to talk with peoples who are from all over our nations, like Arvind Arora sir, Sagar Dudaya sir, and making them ready to take the BFX talk. And this time I connected with Gabe sir, and he is here in the meeting. He will start his session around 5:30 or 5:40. So thanks to the BeingArtifex team for providing me this great opportunity. I didn't even know that I would be able to fulfill this responsibility so well, but everything went well, nice and great. So I just loved it. I came to know that I'm good at it. Earlier, I was unaware of these things, that I can be good at public relation things. But thanks to the BeingArtifex, and special thanks to our juniors who are there to help us in everything. So that's all from my side. I think everything is going nice. And thanks to the administration for helping us in every means हर जगह पूरे एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने हमारा साथ दिया. So thank you so much. That's all from my side, I think.
Okay, Ankit.
Ankit, I think is not audible.
Ankit, you're not audible.
Hello.
I think manager is just having issues with the mic. Okay, so Ankit will just reconnect with us at the end of the session. At the end of our introduction, he will just fix his mic. So after this, I would like to just introduce the team, operational team, जिन्होंने सब कुछ प्लान बनाया, प्लान बनाना, उसको एग्जीक्यूट करना, ऑपरेशन में लाना, सब कुछ प्रॉपर किया. So रोल बताने की जरूरत तो है नहीं कितना इंपॉर्टेंट काम था और कितनी परफेक्टली हो रखी हैं चीजें. So operational team, just come forward.
Thank you so much, Aniket. So, hello, welcome everyone. Good evening once more from my side, being the head of operational team, myself, Arnav Adhikari. I want to express gratitude towards the complete BeingArtifex core team as well as the administrative for coordinating just amazingly and just perfect, being so punctual at times, even at the midnights as well. Working day in and day out is just worthless if the output isn't good enough. So the outputs were amazing every time. Like whatever we work, hard work and smart work, both were there at same pace. So thank you so much. The whole team of BeingArtifex, I learned a lot during this journey. Hope to learn more. I also want to thank the participants and want to congratulate for being a precious part of this journey. The journey is not over yet. We will see you in future as well. Thank you. All the best. Over to you, Bhavish.
Bhavish.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Niket. Hello guys. This is Bhavish Sharma. I am from IIT ISM Dhanbad. I'm in the operation team of BeingArtifex and manages all the things. Means as you know that work of the operation team is not so easy. I have to manage all the things, means contact to the PR team, graphic team, and all the teams, and just to ask that what the work they should do and how they should operate. Okay, and I learned a lot of things from the BeingArtifex. Means a lot of management activities, how to talk, how to handle all the teams, how to handle various teams, how to convince the people. Means sometimes it is possible that graphic team is not working very well, and so to convince them, we have to do this work at our urgency. So all this, I learned a lot of things from the BeingArtifex. heartily want to say very thank you to BeingArtifex and to the participants which make which make our event so successful. Okay, and for the participants I want to say ये चीज अभी खत्म नहीं हुई है, हम वापस से आएंगे BeingArtifex को लेके, ठीक है, नेक्स्ट चांस फिर से मौका मिलेगा सबको पार्टिसिपेट करने का, एंड आई होप सबने काफी कुछ सीखा होगा BeingArtifex से, एंड थैंक यू, दैट्स ऑल।
थैंक यू भावेश। तो भावेश ने बोला टीम्स के बीच में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होता ही है, एंड जस्ट डोंट वरी, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स यूजुअल और होनी चाहिए, जस्ट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स मेक्स योर टीम स्ट्रॉन्गर एंड स्ट्रॉन्गर एंड स्ट्रॉन्गर। सो एट द नेक्स्ट मैं ट्रेजरर्स को बुलाना चाहूंगा जिन्होंने सारे रिसोर्सेज को हैंडल किया और इन्वेस्टमेंट वगैरह सब कुछ प्रॉपर्ली देखा। सो ट्रेजरर्स जस्ट कम फॉरवर्ड एंड जस्ट गिव सम ग्लिम्स।
Hello. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, perfect.
Good evening, everyone. This is Akshay Kumar Sonta, head treasurer, and also the head for robotics stream. And I'm very happy to share that BeingArtifex successfully conducted this event, and also very best to all the participants. And I hope in future we will come again with all lots of technical stuff which will develop you in further process. And that's all from my side. Thank you.
Rishabh is not with us. Okay. Rishabh Gupta is not with us. Rishabh Gupta is one of the treasurers. And
just a minute, Aniket. I think we have reaching the time, so you could just mention the names so that we could call our chief guest.
I'm not getting you. What? Okay, our live talk is about begin. You wanna say? Okay. So we are dealing with our live talk, I guess. Okay, we have to just skip this introduction part. I will just take up the name of every our teammate. And the thing is, our live talk is about to begin with Gabe Gabrielle, engineer for NASA. So I will just place the team names. I will place the team names, and everyone will be introduced. So technical management team, Amar Jain, head, and I was the vice head in the technical management team. So kudos to both of us. Thank you. Social handling and marketing team, Aman Jha and Akshay Kumar. Aman Jha and Akshay Kumar both have just made their work perfectly. So that's why we have just promoted our work, and we are just right there. Everyone is just reaching the content right now. So design team, Alok and Manish, Alok Kumar and Manish, perfect. Everyone has seen our posters and graphic design and all, and they were just like mesmerizing, and that's perfect. And content team, Astha Sinha, Aisha Agrawal and Ratnika. Astha Sinha, head, Aisha Agrawal, vice head. So all of them has just performed very well. We have seen their contents, and they're just quite mesmerizing and beautiful. Most of you are there just because of their content. You read it, okay? And video editing and creating team, we are just going to show some glimpse of Gabrielle and all. You will see their creation. They are just creating wonderful videos. So video editing and creating team, Ayush Sharma and Astik. Kudos to both of you. And promotion team is one of the pillars of our BeingArtifex. They have promoted all the content so properly that's why you are just getting all the contents, posters and everything perfectly to you, and that's why you are just right here. So promotion team, Himanshu Gupta head, Chanya vice head, and Devansh. Okay, kudos to all of you. So without wasting any time, I'd like to hand over my talk to just Arnav, and let's begin with the talk. Okay, so bye buddies, namaste.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Aniket. That was all about the introduction with our core team members. So now I would request Aman to show a short glimpse of whom we are having with us as today's chief guest. Aman?
Arnav, Dheeraj sir is also here. Let him speak something.
Okay, sir. So before starting the guest talk, I would just request Professor Dheeraj Kumar to speak a few words in this warm occasion of ending ceremony.
Yeah, very good evening to you all. Since now we are crossing the time, just I'll be very brief and short. The outcome of the initiative made by our Honorable Director has yielded very good results now. we are seeing the innovation is getting inculcated in all of you, and you are becoming innovative, and not only you are becoming innovative, you are trying to make our society also innovative. And this is the outcome through which you are basically organizing lots of events, Escalathon, and then other events also will be organizing. And BeingArtifex has lots of other responsibility as well. You know, this BeingArtifex has been now incubated at our IIT ISM ACIC. It's a community innovation hub, and in which you have been incubated. So your role will be very big henceforth. So my best of wishes to you all, and keep doing well. Well begun is half done. You have already proven that you have a talent. The team has good talent, and you will be meeting our expectation in the near future also. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. So now all our quick early sessions are completed. So now I want Aman to present a short glimpse of whom we are having with us as today's chief guest. Aman, please.
Audio is not there.
Yes, Aman, I think the audio is not there.
In Cocoa Beach, and I saw the very first shuttle launch. Liftoff. There's nothing like the shuttle launch. We're standing there watching it, and it's in the distance.
Okay, so thank you so much, Aman. So everyone, the time has come. Fasten your seat belts, and please welcome all the way from NASA, who has a great experience as an engineer for NASA, Gabe Gabrielle, sir. Everyone, just spam a huge number of welcomes in the chat box and welcome Gabe, sir. Aman, can we have Gabe sir on screen?
Yes. Sir, you can speak.
Yes. You can hear me?
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, your video is off. Sir, your video is off.
It's showing it's on.
Actually, sir, here it is off, sir.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to turn it on.
Sir, there would be an option of, sir, start video beside the, sir, mic icon, sir.
Yes, I see that, and I click on it,
Hey, could you click once again, sir? Yes, sir. Now.
Yes, sir. Aman, can you just pin him on the main screen?
Yes. Just
Okay.
Good evening, sir. Namaste from India. BeingArtifex, on behalf of BeingArtifex family and IIT-ISM, we welcome you all to today's live session.
Okay, thank you so much. Am I going now?
Yes.
We're starting? Yeah,
Yes,
so
sir.
I would like to say to everybody in India, good evening to you. Good morning from Florida. And today is our Independence Day. So it's a very, very special day in America, and it is a privilege to share this day with you. I would like to thank, for sure, everyone who is involved for giving me this opportunity. I hope I pronounced the names right, but Hari Shanekar, did I say that right? I want to thank him. We have been in correspondence, and he has been instrumental in giving me this opportunity, and I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, it's been wonderful. I was actually in India about 1.5 years ago, and I went to 5 cities. It was amazing. I am so thankful to the Indian people for their hospitality, their kindness, and for making my visit so very, very special. It was amazing, and I cannot thank you enough.
We were glad to have you 1.5 years ago as well in our institute, sir.
Yeah, so it was great. So if we're ready to start, I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. Is that okay?
Yes, sir, sure. It's all yours.
Okay, all right. So thank you so much. So one of the things I like to talk to you about, and it's so special to me because I want you to know everything you do, people are going to tell you in order to be successful, you must work hard. To do well in sports, you must work hard. To do well in school, you must work hard. No matter what you do, people are going to say to you, work hard, work hard, work hard. The harder you work, the more success you will have. So you're constantly trying to work harder and work harder and work harder. And with this, you often create stress and pressure, and your life becomes very, very difficult. So what I want you to know, you never have to work, and nothing ever has to be hard. It's all in how you approach what you do. So I'm going to talk to you about 3 things, and I will expand on them more through the presentation. But if you can just think about these 3 things every day, all day, only one day at a time. Do your best, enjoy what you do, believe in yourself. Learn this, I promise you, you will never have stress, you will never have pressure, you will never work. Your life will be fun. And one of the things I love about India, and some of my friends from India who are in America, you're always happy. The Indian people to me are upbeat and happy and excited about everything. But I know you have a lot of stress and pressure you put on yourselves. So you can go through life with stress and pressure and working hard, or you can go through life having fun. Either way, you will do it. So why not have fun? It's 100% mental. And I will show you how you can do this. It's possible, it's easy, and it's all mental. So before we start, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I hated school. I did terrible in school. I failed almost everything I took because I loved the beach and I loved sports. So when I was a little kid, they dragged me off the beach and they put me in a box and they said, read. And I didn't want to do that. I really struggled. To make it worse, I have a twin sister. My twin sister, somehow, when she was 3 years old, she knew she wanted to be a teacher and she loved school. So when you're a twin or you have a brother, sister close in age, you're often compared. So with my sister, she was always the smart twin. I was the not so smart twin. She was the twin who always did everything right. I was the twin who always did everything wrong. She was the twin who never got in trouble. I was the twin who always stayed in trouble. And I drove my parents crazy. And they would say, why can't you be like your sister? She never gives us problems. All you do is give us problems. And I remember thinking, well, my sister, she loves school. I hate school. Why do I want to be like her? It didn't make any sense. So I had to deal with that as well as not doing well in school. So in America, we have to go to high school. We don't have a choice. I didn't want to go to high school. I had to go to high school. So I went to high school, but in America, we have great sports programs in high school. So I said, okay, I have to go to high school. but I'm going to go just to play sports and have fun. And I kind of did that. I did just enough to get through. And when I finished high school, I said, I'm done. I'm never going back to school again. I'm finished. So my first job was at McDonald's, flipping burgers, making fries. It was awesome. No homework, no tests, hanging out with my friends. I said, this is great. I know what I want to do. But I like to race cars. I like to build cars and race cars. It's a good hobby I have. And I couldn't generate the income at McDonald's. So for 12 years, I tried many different things. I drove a bus, I drove a cup, I was a mechanic. I did anything I could to try to generate the income. After 12 years, I realized this isn't working. I have to go to university. So I went to university at night. It took me 8 more years to finish university. So 20 years after I finished high school, I finished university. And it was the best thing I ever did. And I encourage all of you to try to go to the university. I know India has great educational systems. So if you have the opportunity, go to university. It will help you so much. And I used to think you had to be so smart to go to university, but you really don't. You just have to be determined. So that's a little bit about me and how I got where I am. So we will start the presentation. We will talk about the space shuttle, the history of the space program, why we had a space shuttle. We'll talk about astronauts up on the space station, what they're doing now. We'll show you some movies about rovers going to Mars and what they're doing on Mars. And we'll talk about the future of the space program, which involves some of you going to Mars. This will happen in your lifetime. You will have this opportunity. And I really encourage you, if there's something you want to do,
Hello.
do this.
Hello, good evening, sir. Actually, sir, our director, sir, would want to talk with you, sir.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
No, I was good evening, Gabe. I mean, it was a pleasure listening to you. I really liked the line that you said about having fun. This is something I believed in. I remember when I was doing my graduate school at Berkeley, after the NBA championship, you had Larry Bird and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar those days. And they used to say, we are doing it because we love it. We are having fun. I could never understand the meaning. Now I do. And I tell the same to my students out here and my children. So, I mean, I don't want to interrupt you. It's such a pleasure. Please continue. I am all ears.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It is a privilege and an honor for me to do this. I really, really enjoy it. I hope I can come back to India when things are settled and come to the university and meet you all in person. That would be a dream of mine.
Okay, thank you. Please continue. Sorry for the interruption.
No, please. I welcome the opportunity to speak with you. So
that's fine. Please, I mean, we are enjoying your talk, so I just wanted to listen to.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Once we start the presentation, then we will go. But if anybody, you want to say something, I'm more than willing to speak with you about anything. And I thank you so much for your kindness. So we will start the presentation. I'm going to start screen sharing. So we will start the presentation in just a minute. I just want you to see on there, it says George Gabe Gabrielle, and all of my friends all over the world, and I don't care what age they are, I ask everyone to call me Gabe. I'm writing with a lot of students from India, and they all call me sir. And I say, please call me Gabe. Yeah, but because you're older, but I want you to know, I'm only 19. I know I look a lot younger, but I'm really 19. This is a mental age, and this is how I live, and this is why I have fun. So if you write to me, please say Gabe. If you call me sir, I'm going to ask you, please call me Gabe. So if you can call me Gabe, it's so much fun. And I know this is your culture in India, and I understand it, but since I'm in America, I would prefer it. If you really can't do it, it's okay. So one of the things I've learned in traveling, I've been so fortunate, 5.5 years ago, I gave up my position at Kennedy Space Center so I could travel around speaking with students because I enjoyed it so much. And one of the kids always ask me, they say, Gabe, what's it like to work at a space center? What do you do every day at a space center? And I always say the same thing. It's magical. It is the most magical place in the world you can ever think of. Can you think of driving into work and seeing ships going into space or seeing other ships being built to go into space. It's just so much fun. So it's really a magical environment. I'm at Kennedy Space Center, which is in Cocoa Beach, Florida. But NASA has many space centers around America. And one of the most famous is Johnson Space Center, which is in Houston, Texas. Johnson Space Center is where the astronauts live and where they train. If they go to space, they come to Florida to get on a ship to go to space. They come back, they go back to Houston, where they live and train. So I want you to think about some things as we're talking. I'm going to ask you to come with me to Florida, to come with me to Kennedy Space Center, to come with me as an engineer on a daily basis. And I'm going to kind of show you what we would do in that environment. And I'm also going to take you to launches. And when I show you launches, I want you to come to the beach with me because we watch the launches from the beach. So when people say to me, what is it like to be at a space center? And I tell them it's magic. I have a little movie to show you from Johnson Space Center, what it's like to be at a space center.
NASA Johnson Star. Johnson Star. Welcome to NASA's Johnson Space Center. We are coming in hot, so don't burn up as we enter. We do science every day that affects your daily life. Throw them up for manned spaceflight. Science everywhere as we engineer.
So I want you to have fun. When we're watching this movie, we're jumping around and we're having fun. So you do this too.
Everywhere because we engineer the marvels that fly through the air, flies us through the air. Control the mission out of Johnson. This is ground. This is space. Tell me, Houston, what's the problem? It's okay. Oh, it's okay. Because the flight controllers all at Johnson. NASA Johnson Star. Johnson Star. NASA Johnson Star. Johnson Star. NASA Johnson Star. Science training. NASA Johnson Star. It's amazing. NASA Johnson Star. Orbiting Earth, International Space Station, where we work and live in space with a crew from several nations. Got Japanese and Russians and that European charm. Throw 'em up like the Canada arm. Kicking out research. 29 cubic feet revolves around the Earth. Science microgravity revolves around the Earth. Columbus jamming destiny. Kicking out research. Kicking out research. Train the astro. That's it, Johnson. To go to space. To go to space. Cause the missions of tomorrow start today. They start today. As we engineer the future day by day. NASA Johnson Star. Johnson Star. NASA Johnson Star. Johnson Star. NASA Johnson Star. Science training. NASA Johnson Star. It's amazing. NASA Johnson Star. I am more. SLS and PCV, we cannot feel the floor. Cause the lack of gravity, the destinations are an asteroid, Mars, or the moon. We are blasting off. Start the countdown soon. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Science
Sorry, sir, for disturbance. Actually, the participants are doing this. Sir, you could once again, sir, share the screen, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It's fine, sir.
Yeah, I don't know the video.
It's amazing. NASA Johnson style.
So this is what it's like to be at a space center. It's really a fun environment. It's a magical environment. You know, in America, we talk about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And STEM is a very important program because it gets kids involved in math and science and helps them with their future. I have a little movie to show you what it's like if you have a good STEM background. I'm not sure why I'm not able to advance the slides.
Sir, you could advance it.
Ever think you could help invent artificial intelligence? Or design the tools used to perform research on Mars? How about finding the cure for cancer or helping to develop a green fuel? Before you say no, think again. Think STEM. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Studying STEM opens you to a wide range of hands-on, cutting-edge careers and can create amazing opportunities. From designing rockets to building robots to writing the computer programs that will change the way we work and live. You can help shape the future of our world. Are you ready for the challenge? Then let's get started.
So this is STEM. Now we also have something called STEAM that has an A in it. Science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And this is Tina. Tina's a very good friend of mine. When I was going to school studying math and science, she was going to Juilliard School of Dance in New York City to become a dancer. And she became a very good dancer. And she taught me about STEAM. She said, Gabe, when I study arts, I have to learn these 10 things. I have to learn to be creative, to build confidence, to solve problems. The same things you do in engineering, I do in arts. And it's really good when we combine the two. And I think it's very, very important to combine the two because a lot of times scientists or mathematicians, you know, they're going in a straight line, they're following rules, but an artist looks at everything. So when you put the two together, you get a very special person. This is one of my favorite pictures in the space program. When you look up at the sky at night, you don't see all those billions of stars because the light from the Earth filters them out. If it was completely black on Earth, you would look up at the sky every night and you would see all these billions of stars. And I have a little video that I'm going to show you later from Mars, what it's like to see the sky on Mars. So we had shuttle launches, we had day launches, and we had night launches. And the night launches were spectacular because what would happen at the night launch, you know, in India, if you go to a football match, you go to a big stadium, you sit in the stadium, if at night, everything is all lit up. Well, when we go to a launch on Kennedy Space Center, it's very similar. They have areas where you can sit in the bleachers like you do at a soccer match or a football match and watch the launch. So what they have a huge big screen TV that shows you there's everything going on. And you're sitting in the bleachers and you're across the water. You can see the shuttle. It's about 5 kilometers away and you can really see it. It's amazing to be seen, especially if you have binoculars or something, you can zoom in on it, you can see it. About 3 minutes before the launch, they shut off all the lights. So you're sitting there in the blackness. The only thing you can see is a ship on the pad, but you can't see anything else because it's so black. And when the shuttle goes off, it literally turns night into day. The light from the engines come down and reflects off the water. So you get the light from the engines coming down and going up. And it's just like it goes from night to day. It's so magical and it's very, very special. This is a very rare picture because there's 2 shuttles on the launch pad. The primary purpose of the space shuttle was to build the International Space Station. It's the only thing large enough and powerful enough to take the big pieces to space to build the space station. So when the astronauts were building the space station, they would go up into space, they would put on a spacesuit, they go outside, and they would build the space station. If there was an issue, they could go inside the space station for safety, or if something was life-threatening, they could do the same. But with this mission, it was going to the Hubble telescope. It was a repair mission for the Hubble telescope. And there was concern if the astronauts got up at the Hubble and something was life-threatening or they have a major issue, they couldn't come back. So it had the same picture, they had the same shuttle, another shuttle on the launch pad as a rescue mission, just in case it was necessary. It wasn't necessary, but it was the only time in the history of the space program they had 2 active shuttles on the launch pad. Same picture at night. These things are lit up brilliantly. You can see them for about 25 kilometers away. There's a road that goes past Kennedy Space Center. You can see them from the road. You can get on the beach, is what I love to do, get on the beach and you can see them from the beach. Or you can get on a boat in the water and you can see them from the water. So they're really easy to see at night and they are brilliantly lit up. This is the VAB. This is called the Vehicle Assembly Building. Almost every time you see a picture of NASA, you see this building. What it is where everything was put together to go to space. 50 years ago, when the astronauts were going to the moon, everything was assembled inside this building. And I do race cars for a hobby, and this is one of the cars I actually race, and it's fun to drive it to work once in a while because I love being in the sun, and it's convertible and top is always down. So it's a lot of fun for me, and the VAB is such a special place. So this is what it looks like when it goes out to the launch pad. Now the VAB is just to the left of the screen. You can't see it, but it's just to the left of the screen. And right in the middle of the screen, there's like a little orange area, and that's the launch pad. And it's 5 kilometers away from the VAB. So it has to go from the vehicle assembly building where it's all put together out to the launch pad where it's going to take off. And this is how it gets there. So if you look at the back, right at the bottom, you can see a little person. Gives you an idea how big this is. The bottom is called a crawler transporter. The middle portion is called a mobile launch platform. And the shuttle really has 4 main parts. The part that looks like a plane is actually called an orbiter. The orange part is a fuel tank that has liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen. And then it has 2 solid rocket motor boosters. And it's taken out to the launch pad, and then it launches from the launch pad. And it's so pretty when it goes out there. This is called a crawlaway where it drives. And alongside the crawlaway, there's a road where you can drive with your car and you can be within about 25 meters of this thing when it passes by. It's really a magical sight. And it's all lit up like this. There's people walking in front, people walking beside, checking everything. It takes 5 hours to go those 5 kilometers. This is what it looks like at launch. I'm going to show you a launch, but I want to tell you a little bit about it first. There's 3 main engines in the orbiter and 2 solid rocket boosters. Combined is 3 million kilos pushing against the Earth. This thing is so heavy. That's how much lift it has to get off the ground. Now, many of you have flown in a plane. I'm sure you have flown in a plane. And if you have flown in a plane, and even if you haven't, the first thing that happens when you fly in a plane, you get on at the passenger terminal. The plane goes on a taxiway to a runway. When it gets to the runway, it usually power brake, it locks the brakes, it revs up the engine until it gets enough power to take off, and it takes off horizontally. Well, this is doing the same thing, but it's taking off vertically. So it's locked down on the launch pad. They start the engines and it's trying to take off, and the engines are building up power and building up power. And all of a sudden, you know, it's 5 kilometers away. So you really can't see it. You really can't hear it, but you feel it. You get this vibration in your feet. It's shaking the earth. You get this vibration through your body. And all the cars here too. So all the car alarms are going off, horns are honking, lights are flashing, sirens are going off, and there's a magic in the air. I just can't describe it. It's a feeling, and it's very, very special. So I'm going to show you this launch, but a couple of things I want to tell you. The first thing you're going to see at the bottom of the orbiter are something called igniters, and they're just burning off any vented fumes. Inside that tank is liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen. There are 2 gases in our atmosphere that are made super cold and they become a liquid. And they sit in the hot Florida sun and they expand. So sometimes they will vent out. So these fumes may be all around the shuttle They don't want to launch that way. It might all go up in flames. So the first thing they do, they take these igniters and they burn off any vented fumes. The second thing you're going to see, it looks like smoke, but it's actually steam. They put 3 million liters of water on the launch pad for heat and noise suppression. So the first thing you'll see are these igniters. They're burning off any vented fumes, and then they start the engine. Now it's trying to take off, and it's slacked down on the launch pad. So it's trying to take off, and the earth is literally shaking. Your body is shaking. You hear all of this crazy sounds and all of these visions. It's just so magical. Now when it takes off, it looks like it's going in slow motion, and then it makes a big turn. And it's gone. That's the steam from our water. There's 7 astronauts in the shuttle. For the first 2 minutes, they're bouncing around quite a bit. After 2 minutes, the boosters come on, and it gets very smooth. Boosters are held on with large bolts, and they have an explosive charge. They blow these bolts apart. That's what separates the boosters from the tank. The boosters fall off above the water, about 20 kilometers above the water. A parachute opens. They fall gently in the water. A ship goes out, picks them up. They're brought back to the Space Center and reused. SpaceX is reusing their boosters as well, but they're landing them back on the pad where NASA had to go out and get them from the water. Then the tank and the orbiter go up in orbit. The tank falls off and burns up in the atmosphere. It only takes, if you can imagine, it only takes 8.5 minutes. You're sitting on Earth, 8.5 minutes later, you're up in space. So this is Buzz Lightyear. Now remember, everything we're going to do today and everything I want you to think about your life is having fun. You can be very successful and have fun. It's possible. And one of the things they did, NASA did, was they brought Buzz Lightyear into the space program to have fun for kids so they would be more interested in the space program and get involved at an earlier age. Now, Buzz Lightyear is named after a very famous astronaut, Buzz Aldrin, who was the second person to walk on the moon. Now, I love the beach. I'm always on the beach. A few years ago, I was on the beach and somebody said to me, "Do you want to meet Buzz?" And I said, "Buzz who?" And they said, "Buzz Aldrin." And I said, "The guy that was on the moon?" And they said, "Yes." And I said, "Of course." So I got to hang out with Buzz Aldrin on the beach for about an hour, just me and him. It was amazing. One of only 12 people in the whole world to walk on the moon. And I got to speak with him for about an hour. It was great. Only good things happen on the beach. This is Woody. He's at all our launches as well. When the astronauts leave, he's waving, and when they come back, he's clapping for them. This is a very rare picture. Now, I don't know if you can do this. Can somebody or anybody guess? And I will see if somebody can guess what this is showing. So I'm not sure if I can see your answers, but yes, whoever raised their hand. Okay, so somebody has to answer so I can understand.
Sir, just mention the name of to whom which you want to open the tell the answer.
Anybody, just anybody can guess.
It's a space shuttle.
So what it's doing, I'm not sure, but I'm going to tell you so we can move forward. It's breaking the sound barrier. To give you an idea how fast this shuttle goes, if you're on Earth and you have a rifle, a high-powered rifle, the bullet from that rifle goes about 3,000 kilometers per hour. Think how fast 3,000 kilometers per hour is. But when you're in the shuttle and you're going in orbit, you're going 27,000 kilometers per hour. You are going 9 times faster than a rifle bullet in this huge spaceship to break through the atmosphere to get into space. This is called the Orbiter Processing Facility. Remember, the part that looks like a plane is actually called an orbiter. And every time it goes up in space, it's orbiting the Earth. That's why it's called an orbiter. And when it comes back down, it's taken to an orbiter processing facility where everything is taken apart, everything is checked, and is put back together. So I'd like to talk to the girls for a minute. I want all of the guys to listen, but I want the girls to listen first. Because as a girl in the space program, you can do anything. There was a time 50 years ago when the astronauts were going to the moon, there were no women whatsoever in the space program, 100% guys. With the advent of the space shuttle, many, many women engineers got involved. And now women do everything in the space program. They fly the orbiter, they navigate the orbiter, they maintain the orbiter. They're an integral part of the space program. And just like combining arts and science, it's the same thing with combining men and women. When you put them together, you get a much better product. So this is a girl. Her job is to put the engine back in the orbiter. When the engine comes out, everything is checked. It's made sure everything is good, and it's put back in the orbiter for the next mission. So she's on a forklift. She has a handheld controller, moves the forks up and down, side to side, in and out. And she has to guide that engine into the orbiter. If she hits the engine on the side of the orbiter, she could damage the engine, damage the orbiter, create millions of dollars worth of damage, and delay the mission. So it's critical she does it perfectly. Takes her 3 hours for one engine. She never makes a mistake. She's awesome. So I want all of you to know that you can do anything you choose. And in the space program, if you want to get involved with the space program, there are many, many opportunities for both guys and girls. I love living by the beach. You know, we live in Florida. We're always by the beach, and the shuttle is close to the water. So we have these gorgeous sunrises with the shuttle on the pad. This is the ISS, the International Space Station. The main reason, again, we had the space shuttle was to build the International Space Station. And the shuttle stopped flying because its mission was completed. Once the space station was completed, the shuttle's mission was done. And that's why it stopped flying. So it took 12 years to build the ISS. This is about 5 years into it. This is 8 years into it. And this is how it looks now. It's completely finished. For those of you who may have seen it or may have not seen it or would like to see it, you can see it come over your house in India. All you have to do is go to the NASA site, nasa.gov, or just Google CDISS. It will ask you for your name and it will ask you for your email. You give it that information, it will send you a 24-hour notice when it comes over your house. You can go outside and see it. It looks like a bright star. You don't need a telescope. You don't need binoculars. You can see it passing through the night sky. Now, when we look up at the sky and we see the stars, we're not really seeing the stars. We're seeing the light from the stars, and it's stationary. But with the ISS, it looks like a bright star, but you can see it for 4 or 5 minutes going across the sky. Hopefully, you'll have a chance to do that. It's something you will never forget. This gives you an idea how big it is. Now, this is an American football field, which is a lot bigger than an Indian football field. And you can see this is much, much bigger than a football field. On Earth, it would weigh almost 500,000 kilos. In space, it weighs nothing. There's 16 nations involved in building the International Space Station. I know right now India wasn't involved at that time, but you have a great space program now, and I really support your space program. I think it's amazing. I think you're doing wonderful things, and so many students I meet in Brazil, and so many students I meet in India, they want to come to NASA. They want to be a part of NASA. But I encourage you, you have your own space program. You know, if you can get involved with the Indian space program and get involved and get some experience, it will help you come to NASA. And why not stay in your own country and help your country do better? Just a little movie, I'm going to show you how it was assembled. Each one of these pieces was brought up in the cargo bay of the orbiter. In the back of the orbiter, there's 2 big doors. They open these doors, they put these pieces in, they go up into space, the astronauts assemble it. The part on the top, those are solar arrays. They take energy from the sun, they convert it to electricity. That's what's used to power the space station. The part going across diagonal, that's called a truss. Many of you will study engineering. You know, a truss is something that gives a structure strength. All structures have trusses. The same with the ISS. It's going 26,000 kilometers around the Earth. If it wasn't having that truss, it would flop around and fall apart. The round or cylindrical areas, that's where the astronauts live and stay. And when they go up in space, they normally stay about 6 months. The part in the front is a Canadian arm. It's used to move things around the space station. I like this because it gives you a good three-dimensional view, gives you an idea why it was so challenging and why it took so long to construct. It's so important. You know, I talk a lot about having fun and enjoying what you do. And it's the same with learning. You want to try to make learning fun. When I was in high school, my sister and I, we would get on a bus, we would go to school. We would finish school, we'd get on a bus and come home. And she would go in her room and she would turn on music and she would sing and dance to her lessons. And I used to look at her and I used to think, what's wrong with you? You could be outside at the beach playing sports. Why are you here singing, dancing? But she made learning fun. And it's so important to make learning fun. The more fun you have learning, the easier it will be and the longer you'll remember it. So try to enjoy learning. It's the same for the astronauts. They had to learn when they were kids, and the habits they learned as kids and the habits you are learning now, you will take with you for the rest of your life. So try different things, see what works best for you, see how much fun you have in learning. And don't think of tests as something negative. Think of tests as an opportunity to show how much you've learned and just enjoy the test. Don't get so upset about it and don't get so paranoid that you think you're not going to do well. Always feel good about yourself. Remember those three things. Do your best, enjoy what you do, and believe in yourself. Doing your best is pretty easy. Challenge yourself to do your best. Wherever that takes you, accept it and feel good about your effort. If it's not what you want, that's fine. Do it again. But always feel good about your effort and keep doing it till you get what you want. If you do your best and you do it again, you will get better and better and better. So always feel good about yourself. This is so important. You know, also enjoy everything you do. You can be watching this right now and enjoying it, or you can be watching it and wishing you somewhere else. Either way, you will be watching it. And it applies to everything. Have fun with everything. You can find positives in everything. And the most important part, believe in yourself. This is very few people have this. This is why people have stress. This is why people have pressure. This is why people bully. They just don't have that confidence within themselves. And I'll talk to you a little bit about how to build that confidence. And you can build that confidence. And once you have that, everything in your life will become easy. For the astronauts, they have to go up in space and they have to build a space station while they're floating. Well, we really can't float on Earth because gravity holds us down. But on Earth, we can float in water. So NASA said, okay, let's train in water like we do floating in space since we float in water. But we don't want to float on top of the water because gravity will still affect us. So we want to float beneath the water. So what they did in Houston, Texas, where I showed you that movie at Johnson Space Center, they built a huge, huge swimming pool and they gave it a fancy name. It's called a neutral buoyancy laboratory. Buoyancy means you float. Neutral buoyancy means you don't float, you don't sink. So if we jump in the water, our bodies are buoyant, we will float. So they put a weight belt proportional to your weight. So this pool is about 10 meters deep by 30 meters wide by 40 meters long. They jump in this pool, you go down about 10 meters, 5 meters into this 10-meter pool, and you stay there. You don't go up, you don't go down. That's called neutral buoyancy. And they practice for a whole year. Everything that they're going to go in space, they practice every day for a whole year. This astronaut, he's getting ready to go in the pool. You see the water beside him, and he's going to do everything identical to what he does in space. This is part of that truss. If you put that truss in the water, it will fall to the bottom. So it's propped up with prop rods in a neutral buoyancy state. This astronaut, she's getting ready to go in the water. Now, everywhere she goes, 2 divers accompany her. In case there's a problem, they can get her right out. Here's something that looks very simple. I have a shop at my house where I build and race cars. At least I used to before I got so involved with school. If I want to put a screw in a wall, I use my body strength and torque. It's real simple. But if you're floating, you really have no strength and you have no torque. So it's very, very simple. Very, very simple things on Earth become complicated in space. It's so important you learn to work together and learn to help each other out. It's so important. That's why I love sports, because if you're going to be successful in sports, you have to be a team. You cannot be an individual on a team and be successful in sports. So sports teaches you so much. And I've always encouraged kids, play sports because you learn so much. And sometimes I talk to parents, let them play sports, but also you have to do your part. You have to apply yourself and you have to do well in school. So one of the things I always like to talk about is a BFF, a best friend forever. I know many of you have a BFF. And when I was in India, I saw everybody so connected, and I know you had a lot of BFFs. Well, my BFF, one of my BFF, his name is Randall. And Randall's a very special guy. Randall is blind. He cannot see anything, but he does everything. So one of the things we do as a team is we do triathlons or triathlons. So in triathlons, you have to swim, bike, and run. So one day Randall came to me and he said, hey, Gabe, I want to do a triathlon. I said, okay, what's a triathlon? He said, we have to swim, bike, and run. And I said, okay, let's go do it. I'm athletic. I can do anything. But he said, I can't. And I said, why not? He said, I'm blind. I said, you do everything else. Let's go figure it out. So for the swim, we swim about 800 meters. It's called the sprint triathlon. We put a rope around his waist and a rope around my waist with about a 5-meter bungee between us. And I have to guide him through the swim. I can't pull him. I'll be exhausted. I can't let him get ahead of me. We don't know where we're going. So it's important I guide him through the swim and we swim as a team. The second thing we do is we do about a 50-kilometer bike ride. And we do that on bike for 2. And the last thing we do is a 5-kilometer run. And we do that with about a 30-centimeter rope. He holds one end, I hold the other end. That's how we do the triathlons. And I want you to think about something. Every one of you, I don't care your age or what you're doing. I want every one of you to think you have a new BFF. His name is Randall. And everywhere you go, Randall is going to go with you. And if you think you can't do something, Randall is going to say to you, hey, I'm blind. I can do it. So can you. So don't ever think you can do something. And something I want to tell you that is so important. You can never fail. Never. Every time you do something, you learn. And if you learn, you become a better and a wiser person. So don't ever think about failure because you can't fail when you learn. And when you learn something, you do it again. And you keep doing it till you get what you want because you continually learn. So remember, Randall is going to be with you. I'm going to be with you. We're going to be cheering for you. We're going to say you can do this, and you can. This astronaut, she's in neutral buoyancy. She's just practicing working on the Canadian arm. That was something I kind of showed you in that one video. And she practices for a whole year, everything that she's going to do in space. So next thing I'm going to show you what it's like to live on the space station. Now, when you're up in space, you're up in space for 6 months and nothing weighs anything and you're floating. So if you're up there for 6 months and you don't exercise every day, when you come back to Earth, you'll flop on the floor. Or if you're traveling from one planet to another and it takes you 6 months to get there. And when you get there, if you haven't exercised, you'll be useless. So it's very, very important the astronauts exercise every day for 2 to 3 hours on the space station. And very similar to on Earth. Now I go to the gym, I try to work out in the gym, I try to swim to stay fit and to stay strong. So one of the things they have on the space station is much like on Earth. They have a stationary bike. And it looks just like on Earth, except it has no seat because you're floating. So you're kind of bungeed onto this bicycle and they're doing a bicycle. The next thing they have is a treadmill. It's again, a lot like on Earth, but it's not on the floor. It's actually on a wall. So you're floating above the floor, you're bungeed onto this treadmill, and that's how you do the treadmill. And last thing, it looks like a weight machine. You see them lifting weights, it looks like they're lifting weights, but there's nothing weighs anything in space. So what they did is hydraulics. So when you're trying to lift something, the resistance from the hydraulics creates the weight for you to lift. And that's how they do exercise in space. So you see this guy riding his bicycle. It looks like he's sitting on there, but he's actually bungeed on there, and his water bottle is beside him. I'm always looking for my water bottle, but you can see it's beside him and floating around. Now everything floats. You see how this astronaut has his feet hooked so he doesn't float away. But you never lift anything, so you never use muscles. Even the crew members, they're floating around as well. And this guy's shaving, he doesn't have to put his razor down because it's just floating. Now the guy in the back taking a bath. If you take a shower or bath, water goes everywhere. So they take what's called a sponge bath. They take a cloth and they wipe themselves down. They're in a sterile environment, so it's not like being on Earth. This guy's taking a drink. Instead of putting it in his mouth, he just pours it out. All liquids become a ball in space. So it just floats around. He made it too big, so he just cuts it in half. And everybody sleeps in a sleeping bag. You can sleep standing on your head, horizontal, vertical, any position you want. It all feels the same. So if you want to sleep standing on your head, you can do that. They sleep in the sleeping station where they're velcroed in so they don't float around and bump into something. To get around, you give yourself a little push and you never stop. This great big box, if this box was on Earth, probably 500 people couldn't move it. They couldn't budge it. Because it weighs nothing in space, she moves it around all by herself. And for girls or guys with long hair, you've got to pin it up. It'll be a big powder puff all around your face. So the women generally cut it short or pin it up when they're in space. And they're sitting around, they're having a taco break. Now there's no chairs. They're all floating around this table and they're just having a lot of fun. This is E.T. E.T. was a movie at one time, and this is just a little bit showing you about E.T. on the space station. So I hope you think it would be fun to go up in space, and I hope some of you will establish that as a goal. The next thing I want to show you, what it's like to be up in space and look down onto Earth. At the bottom of the space station, a big window. It's an Italian module called cupola. And the astronauts like to go in the cupola module and look down onto Earth. So you see all of how all the continents are lit up. And you see these huge electrical storms, hundreds of kilometers long. That greenish layer on top of the Earth is called the ionosphere. It separates our atmosphere from space. Now, every 90 minutes, they go around the Earth one time. So when they're up in space, they see the sunrise and the sunset 16 times every day. And those are the solar rays. They're always pointed towards the sun. Favorite part. The Northern Lights. I've been trying to see the Northern Lights for about 8 years. I haven't seen them, but I'm going to see them sooner or later. The Northern Lights happen when solar storms come from the sun, and they come with electrons, and they bounce off Earth's atmosphere of oxygen and nitrogen. They create electrical charge, and it gives us all these pretty colors. They can be green or yellow or orange or blue or purple, depending on the altitude and depending on whether it's oxygen or nitrogen. So one of the fun things for us at Kennedy Space Center, the astronauts are in Houston, Texas. When they have a mission, they come to Kennedy and they hang out for a couple of weeks. So we get to talk to them and be around them before they go to space. Then they go up in space for 6 months and they come down and we get to talk to them again. And when we say, what was your favorite thing to do in space? Every single astronaut, no matter how many times they've been in space, no matter what they do in space, they love looking out the window or doing spacewalks where they're out in the expanse of the solar system and they can see the magnitude. And they say the stars are different colors once you get above Earth's atmosphere and much different brightness. So they love looking out the window. This is a rare picture. We have solar storms that come and give us the northern lights. There's also a solar flare comes from the sun and they come at tremendous speed. And the solar flare will give us all of these pretty lights, and it comes with ions, protons, and electrons. And when it hits Earth's atmosphere, this is what it does to the sky. Can you imagine going outside and looking at the sky and seeing this? It's just got to be spectacular. Can you imagine what people thought thousands of years ago when this was happening? But a solar flare gives you this amazing, amazing view. If you have an opportunity, try to see the solar flare. So we talk about going to Mars. So, well, what's the fascination with Mars? Why do we want to go to Mars? Well, many of you have studied geometry. In geometry, you learn about similar triangles. Similar triangles mean they look the same, but they're different. They're the same with Earth and Mars. They look the same, but they're different. So you can see Mars is about 1/2 the size of Earth. Our planet Earth is spinning at 1,600 kilometers per hour. Takes 24 hours to go around one time. That's called a sol. It's called a day. Mars is spinning at 800 kilometers per hour. It takes 24 hours and 37 minutes to go around one time. That's called the sol. So they're both spinning and they're both tilted on the same axis. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If it hasn't happened to you yet, it will. You are going to meet somebody who's going to say to you, the Earth is flat. But we know the Earth's not flat. If somebody says to you, the Earth is flat, all you do is say yes and walk away. Don't waste your time trying to argue with them. Don't waste your time trying to get them to change their mind. They will not do it. They just want to argue. So if somebody says to you, the Earth is flat, say yes and walk away. You probably don't want that person in your life as well, but we know the Earth is flat. I mean, the Earth is round. So, okay, let's jump on a ship and let's go to Mars. Well, it's not quite that simple. We have something called opposition. What opposition means, if you're in India and you want to go from one city to another, and when I was in India, it was amazing. I went by plane, I went by train, I went by bus, I went by scooter, all these different kinds of transportations. And of course, the traffic was insane. Everybody was honking their horns. I'm from New York originally, New York City, and I remember doing a similar thing in New York, but I really enjoyed getting around in India. But nothing is moving. When you're going from one city to another, nothing is moving. But with the Earth and with the Mars, both of the planets are moving. So this is called opposition. So the Earth is going around the sun at 110,000 kilometers per hour. Think about that. That's how fast our planet is traveling. And it's spinning at 1,600 kilometers per hour. It takes 365 days for Earth to go around the sun one time. That's called a year. So what I do, a lot of people who are into astronomy, if you have a friend having a birthday, instead of saying happy birthday, you can say to them, I wish you a happy trip around the sun, which just means I wish you a happy year ahead. Mars is spinning at 800 kilometers per hour. It's going around the sun about 86,000 kilometers per hour. It takes 687 days for Mars to go around the sun. So the Earth is spinning, Mars is spinning, they're going different speeds, different orbits. You want to launch something from Earth and have it land on Mars almost 400 million kilometers away. And it's pretty tricky, but they've got it down pretty good. Just a little bit of history of the space program. This rover was called Spirit. There were two. One was called Spirit, one was called Opportunity. And they were sent to Mars to look for water because this was about 15 years ago. Now, if you look at this picture, you see where this rover is stationary and you see all those rocks around it. You know, this is called sediment. Scientists believe where this is right now was a huge lake at one time and it all dried up. If you're on Earth and there's a large body of water and it dries up, you will see all of these rocks on the bottom. It's called sediment. So they really believe this was a huge lake bed at one time. And they sent this rover there to look for water because scientists believe if water exists, there's a good chance life will exist. And they believe billions of years ago that Mars was a lot like Earth, that it had oceans and lakes and rivers, and it even had an atmosphere like Earth. So they think something may have been alive on Mars at one time or may still be alive today. And that's what the current rovers are actually looking for, life, some sort of form of life on Mars. Now, I want to show you a movie on how this rover got to Mars, but I want to tell you a little bit about it first. So this rover, but I want you to think about something. I want you to think you're all engineering students and you're all in some form of engineering. Or if you're not in engineering, you are a successful adult and you're working at Kennedy Space Center with me. So we're on Kennedy Space Center. And as an engineer, often you're assigned to a design team. And depending on your discipline, whether you're architectural, mechanical, civil structure, you're coupled with other engineers. And together as a team, you design a facility. So you're in a building and you're doing this design and they make an announcement. They said there's going to be a launch in 20 minutes. So we all put our stuff down. We all go out to the beach. It's super cool. You're getting paid really good money to be an engineer, yet you can go out to the beach to watch a launch. And when you get to the launch site, there's another public address system. And at the public address system, you hear in the Launch Control Center. Remember that picture I showed you, the VAB? Right beside it is something called an LCC, a Launch Control Center. And in that Launch Control Center, there may be 100 engineers. They're all monitoring different systems on the rocket, and they're reporting to a launch director. So when you're out on the beach, you hear the engineers talking to the launch director. You hear each engineer saying, system go, system go. And then when all of the engineers had said everything is good, the launch director will say, go for launch, and they count down. And we're out at the beach, and I want you to be at the beach with me. We're all on the beach, we're hearing this countdown, and we count down with it. 10, 9, 8, I want you to do that. I want you to pretend you're at the beach and having all of this magic. And I'm gonna prove something to you. Remember those 3 things. Do your best, enjoy what you do, believe in yourself. So I'm gonna ask you to count down with this countdown, with this launch, and I'm gonna ask you to do your best. Just do your best. And then I'm gonna prove something to you. So this is a Delta rocket. It's got 9 boosters on it. This comes from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. They built the rovers and they actually navigate them around Mars. That's Mars, roughly 500 million kilometers from Earth. And this is the Delta rocket. Now this rover weighs about 200 kilos. It's about the size of a desk in a classroom. And it's in the nose cone. Now you're going to hear the engineers talking to the launch director.
SSC disconnect enable on. 35. Electronics go. Hydraulics go.
And when they start counting down, count down with it. And when it gets to 0, we all jump up and down and clap. We always do this on every launch.
CLCDR pad B.
So count down with me.
On. Pressures go. 10.
9, 8, 7, 6.
Green board. 5, 4,
3, 2, 1. And then we yell blast off and we all jump up and down on the beach. We do this for every launch and we're clapping and we're having so much fun. It's such an amazing opportunity to see something like this from only 5 kilometers away. So this rocket has 9 boosters. You're going to see the boosters will start falling off once it gets a certain speed and certain altitude. They call Earth a pretty blue planet because of all the water. So you're going to see many pieces on this mission. Each piece has a function. Some are for navigation to keep it going in the right direction. Some are for propulsion to keep it going at the right speed. Remember, the planets are going around the sun, different speeds, different orbits. So it has to constantly adjust and keep up with the planets as they're getting closer together. So you'll see when it goes by the sun, you'll see the sun and all the billions of stars in our solar system. So think about it. If you're in this little capsule and you're on your way to Mars, it's going to take you 7 months to get there. So you're going to be in a little capsule for 7 months. That's why you have to exercise every day. You have to stay mentally and physically fit. So when you get there, you'll be able to do the things you have to do to survive. So Mars's atmosphere is thin, but it still generates a lot of heat. It has to have a heat shield to protect it, or it would simply burn up when it went through the atmosphere. So the heat shield protects it. First thing happens, a big parachute opens to slow it down. So Mars's atmosphere is thin, so it's still going very fast. First, the heat shield will fall away. And this rover, which is called Spirit, it's in this canister, and it's an inflatable canister, and it's attached with this rope, about 100-meter long rope. When it gets fully extended, it will inflate. And it's still going very fast. So you fire some rocks to slow it down. And about 30 meters above the surface, they just let it go. and it bounces and rolls and bounces and rolls. Remember, it went over 400 million kilometers. It took 7 months to get there. It's very fragile. And this is how it landed. Everything had to work perfectly. And you see all the rocks, they think this was a large lake at one time. So first it will deflate. Then solar panels unfold. They take energy from the sun, they convert it to electricity. That's what's used to power the rover. Then a TV camera unfolds. So it's driving it around Mars and it's looking for water. Its mission was to try to find water. Now this is computer generated. It's going to show you cruising around Mars, but actually it goes about 7 meters and it stops. And it sends a picture back to Pasadena, California, where a geologist or a scientist will look ahead and analyze it and tell it what to do for the next 7 meters. So these went to Mars about 18 years ago with a life expectancy of 90 days. And one of them lasted about 15 years. The other one lasted about 5. It was amazing. Mechanically, they were really very, very well put together. So you're going to see it when it's cruising around Mars. Now there's people in Pasadena, California with a joystick, just like you play computer games. They're driving this around Mars. And it's actually 5 women that are doing it. And I've spoken with them. They're so much fun to talk with. You know, they talk about driving around Mars like we do running to the store. But you will see it's going to come up on a large rock, which might tip itself over. So it will navigate around that rock, and then it's going to look for water. So, well, how does this thing look for water? It's got a drill in the front of it. It will drill a hole in a rock and look at the center, the inside, because scientists believe that the inside was the way that rock was formed. The outside can change from age or weather. So it's really important they look inside to see how that rock was formed. And they can tell how old the rock is and whether water was present when it was formed. So you'll see after it drills a hole in this rock, you'll see inside the center or the core, and you'll see some lines. Each line represents a segment in time. And based on the number of lines and the distance between them, a geologist can say how old that rock is, and based on the color, if water was present when it was formed. They found a lot of water on Mars. Below the surface, above the surface, they know there's a lot of water on Mars. It's acidic, we can't drink it, but they will develop a process to convert it to drinking water for astronauts when they're on Mars. So this was a very successful mission. It sent back many, many wonderful experiments from Mars and scientific breakthroughs. So this is another rover. Now this rover is called Curiosity. And Curiosity is much, much different from Spirit or Opportunity. Curiosity weighs about 1,000 kilos and it's nuclear powered. And you can see it looks like a huge 6-wheeler on Earth. And one of the cool things, it has a laser. It can shoot a laser beam at a rock and analyze it once it breaks it apart. And once it's analyzed it, if it thinks there's something that might be interesting, has a big drill. It can take that drill and drill a hole in the rock and take a sample and put it in the back. It's got 3 big areas for research. And just like when you were taking chemistry, you know, when you're taking chemistry, you take chemistry and you take a chem lab. You go in a chem lab and a teacher may give you something, say, here, what is this? And you've got to figure it out. So you run a bunch of tests. That's the same thing this is doing on Mars. So I want to show you not how it got there, but I want to show you how it landed. And I want to prove something to you. Remember, do your best, enjoy what you do, and believe in yourself. So I asked you to count down from 10 to 0. Hopefully most of you did it. You were kind of learning. You may have not done it too well. I'm going to ask you to do it again. And I'm going to prove to you, if you did it again, if you did it last time and you did your best and you do it again this time, you will get better. You will see you will get better. And it applies to everything you do. So just try to do your best. Wherever that takes you, appreciate your effort. If it's not what you want, it's okay. Do it again and keep doing it till you get what you want, but always feel good about your effort. It will help you build confidence. So this is an Atlas rocket. And again, we're going to show you mainly how it landed, not how much it get there. But you're going to hear them counting down. When you count down, jump in there, count down with it. I promise you, We do this at every launch. It's so much fun to be a part of the space program. And we're all in Florida. We're out in the sunshine. You know, when I was in India, it was pretty warm. So Florida isn't as warm as India, but it's pretty nice in the summertime. It's in the 30s. So we're out at the beach. It's in the 30s, and we're watching this launch. It's so cool. So this is an Atlas rocket.
10,
now count down with
9,
it.
8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They said light
Main
ignition.
engine start 0 and liftoff.
So we all jump up and
Atlas
down and
V
clap.
with
Yay, with a
curiosity.
single launch. It's so
Seeking
much fun.
clues to
It's
the planetary
awesome.
puzzle
Those are actually
about
lightning
life on
towers around the rocket. So we have these electrical storms in Florida. So the lightning doesn't hit the rocket, it hits those towers. So remember, this weighs about 1,000 kilos. So when it goes through Mars's atmosphere, just like the other one, it has to have a heat shield to protect it. But it's actually got some steering rockets, so it goes through at the perfect angle so it doesn't burn up. Same thing happens, a big parachute opens up to slow it down. And with Curiosity, when the heat shield falls away, Curiosity has its own propulsion system. And it flies around Mars looking for a landing site. That's called a sky crane. It lowers it down. Sky crane flies away and lands in the distance. And it's on Mars right now. It's sending back amazing pictures and also amazing videos. If you haven't been to the NASA site, nasa.gov, you try to go to that site. In the search engine, you can put in Curiosity. It will show you some of the things that it's doing up on Mars. And it's, you know, they're sending back these amazing videos. So this is another rover. Now this rover is called Perseverance. I hope some of you have been following the mission of Perseverance. It landed on Mars, I think about 4 months ago, but it's been doing amazing things. And it's sending back very, very special videos. It's also got a little helicopter that's flying around Mars and sending back videos. And I'm going to show you a video from Mars in a few minutes. Now, Perseverance, it looks a lot like Curiosity, but it's much more sophisticated. So with Perseverance, it's got a super camera on it. It's got a weather station. It's got a zoomable camera. It's got subsurface radar. And it's also got something called MOXIE. So what MOXIE is trying to do, it's trying to take the carbon dioxide atmosphere of Mars, take the oxygen out of it, and convert it to breathing oxygen for astronauts in the future. If any of you have seen the movie The Martian, you see them living up on Mars in a domed area where they don't need a spacesuit. So they have to have oxygen pumped into there. And that's what MOXIE is going to do. If you've seen that movie, it's a really good perception of what will happen in the future. And one of the main things this is doing, it's looking for life. The mission is sent there to look for life. But it also has the ability to take pieces of Mars and stash them in a certain area. And then they're going to send a spaceship from Earth to pick them up and bring them back to Earth. So this is really a part of a process that's going to take years and years to complete. But it's on Mars right now, and it's sending back amazing pictures. This is Ingenuity. Now, Ingenuity, it's a really cool little helicopter. It weighs about 2 kilos. It's very small, but nothing had ever flown on another planet before. So Ingenuity, when it first started flying, it would go maybe 10 meters, you know, up and just kind of go around. Now it's traveling all over Mars and it's sending back videos. And what it's doing, it's looking for places for Perseverance to go study because it's taking pictures. And I'm going to show you a little movie from Mars in just a minute. So hopefully you will have a chance, if you haven't been following Perseverance, Curiosity, and Ingenuity, go to the NASA site or the JPL site, Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Either go to one of those sites, you will see amazing real time of what's going on. There's about a 6-minute delay. It takes the signal to get there long, but it's actually real time. So this is a little movie. Now, this is what it's like. Remember in the beginning of the presentation, I showed you that picture from Earth with all the stars. Well, because we don't see it because the light filters them out, but on Mars, there's no lights. So this is what you see when you look at the Mars sky. This is what we would see on Earth if it was completely black. This is amazing to me. No, I'm not an astronomer, but I've gotten interested in astronomy from so many kids who write to me and ask me about it. But I love seeing this movie. So this is what scientists believe Mars looked like billions of years ago. They think it was a lot like Earth, that it had oceans and lakes and rivers, and even an environment like Earth. That's why they think something may be alive at one time or still may be alive today. So for the longest time, people said, well, what happened to Mars's atmosphere? What happened to change it from what it was billions of years ago to what it is today? Well, for the longest time, scientists thought maybe a great big meteor crashed through Mars's atmosphere and put a big hole in it, and it all escaped. But a few years ago, they came up with another theory. Talked about solar storms and solar flares coming from the sun. And when they bounce off Earth's atmosphere, they give us those pretty lights. Our planet Earth has a very strong magnetic core that protects it. Mars has a weak magnetic core. So they think as these solar storms and solar flares were coming at tremendous speed and bouncing off of Mars's atmosphere, it eroded the atmosphere away. As Mars was spinning over billions of years, it eroded away to what it is today. Now, this looks like a NASA shirt, but remember, I talked to you about those three things. Do your best, enjoy what you do, and believe in yourself. Doing your best is really easy. Just do your best. Enjoy everything you do. This is a little bit more challenging. I was at one presentation and one girl said to me, I don't like this course. How come I like this? I don't have to take this course. You know, I don't like taking this course. And I just said to her, look, it's a step. You have to take this course to get to where you want to go. So don't look at it as a negative. Think of it as a step. Think of it as a challenge. How well can you do this? It's very, very easy to like something you enjoy. The challenge is to like everything equally, to have fun with everything. And you can do this. It's all mental. So this looks like a NASA shirt, but it's actually a shirt that was given to me by a group of kids in Africa. And they were 8 years old in the 3rd grade. And just like I'm going to talk to you about dreams and goals, I was talking to them about dreams and goals. So they decided their dream was to come to America and see a launch. So if you look at the top, the name of the school says Laker School, Anton von Wall, and the bottom says live your dream. So remember those three things. Do your best, enjoy what you do, and believe in yourself, and believe in your dreams. Well, how do your dreams come true? It's really simple. If you have a dream, you write it down and say, this is my goal. And then plan the steps to do it. You can't sit around waiting, but if you plan the steps, and always plan small steps. It's so important. That's how you develop that belief in yourself, by doing things and being successful. So if you go slow, every step you take, you complete it. That gives you confidence. The more confidence you have, easier it becomes. And you build and you build and you build. And ideally, one day you will say to yourself, I can do anything. And when you believe you can do anything, you will never have stress. You will never have pressure. And when you enjoy everything you do, you will never work. Your life can be fun and you can be very successful. And not everybody knows this. You know, you're always again told, work hard, work hard, work hard. When I'm saying to you, never have to work and you never have to have stress or pressure in your life. Either way, you're going to do it. You can go through life with stress and pressure and working hard, or you can go through life having fun, doing the same thing. It's all mental. And if you have fun, you will do it better and it will be easier. So I was talking to these kids about dreams and goals, and they decided their dream was to come to America. So the girls went out and did fashion shows, the boys did car washes, and they raised enough money to come to America. So when they came to America, they came to Florida, and I got to spend 2 weeks with them. And it was amazing. We went to Disney World, we went to SeaWorld, we went to the beach, we did all the cool things. We even managed to get on Kennedy Space Center to see a launch. We were able to get a bus, and all 55 kids got on a bus, and we went on the Space Center, and we saw a launch. It was really, really very special. At the end of 2 weeks, they said, hey, Gabe, we came to America. We want you to come to Africa. Well, my first thought is, well, why would I go to Africa? It's so far away. And what am I going to do when I get there? But it's really, really important. I'm on Facebook. You guys want to friend me or write to me on Facebook? You can follow me, but I can't accept friends requests because I'm maxed out with 5,000. But if you want to follow me or private message me on Facebook, I will answer. You can follow me and private message me. If you private message me, I will try to answer right away. But I get hundreds and hundreds of correspondence. So sometimes it's a little bit difficult. If you private message me, it's Gabe Gabrielle on Facebook. If you private message me and I don't answer you within 2 or 3 days, do it again. It's okay. I don't mind. I will answer as soon as I can. But if you send me a second one, it will be reminder, okay, I got it. I answer now, and I will. So if you want to do that, that's fine. So the kid said to me, hey, Gabe, come to Africa. And I said, okay, you came to America, I'll go to Africa. And in doing that, I got to live a dream of mine that I never thought would happen. So I want you to understand, excuse me, never give up on your dreams. They can happen when you least expect them. So I want to show you a little bit about my trip to Africa and how my dream came true. This is actually South Africa, and it was really special. All of the kids there wear uniforms. The schools are still segregated. They're more integrated now. Some of the schools are all black, some are all white, but they're beginning to integrate. And this was at an elementary school. It just happened to be a white school. And this kids made a big deal of my visit. Just like I'm speaking with you, I love coming in person. Hopefully I can get back to India and I will have the chance to speak with you in person and spend some time with you. This is what I like to do more than anything else. All of the classes made signs. This was a 5th grade class. I just thought it was a cute sign. These were the kids when I went in their classroom, they made space costumes so we could all go to space. When I try to visit schools, I try to bring something for the school, something to remember the visit. Hopefully I can try to bring something for all of the classes or all of the kids. This one school I sent so much stuff to, they had one room, they just went in and studied space. This was actually at a black high school. They actually took 20 kids from 20 schools, put them all together, and I went out there and I did the presentation. And I want some of you to know, some of you, you may not like public speaking, or you may feel that you can't do it well, but I want to tell you something. When I was in high school, if I had to give a speech, I did not go to school, and I did not go back to school until they let me in without giving a speech. So for 4 years in high school, I never gave one talk. I was so paranoid to do it. The fact that I'm doing it now is amazing to me, but it just shows how much you can overcome if you make it fun. My favorite thing to do when I visit India and anywhere is to hang out with you. It was so much fun. India was mind-boggling to me because there were hundreds and hundreds of students hanging around and wanting to talk and wanting to take pictures, and it was awesome. If you happen to go to my Facebook page and you go back about 1.5 years ago, you'll see the trip to India, and it is something I will never forget, and I really hope I can come back. This was a little elephant. That little elephant was fun. It was, you know, I know in India, and I say this when I was in India too, for you guys in India, I know everybody has an elephant and you ride around on elephants, so it's not a big deal. But for me, it was a big deal to see an elephant and play with an elephant. And this thing was like a puppy. All it wanted to do was play and have fun. And I know many of you go to school on an elephant every day. You ride your elephant to school. But for me, I got to ride on an elephant. It was really a lot of fun. And they go fast. They're much faster than I thought. And you're bouncing around and you're having so much fun. It was awesome. So this is my dream. I'm a cat lover, and I always dreamed of playing with baby lions. So when I was in Africa, I got the chance to go to a lion preserve and play with the little lion cubs. And I was playing with these 4 little lion cubs, and they're just like kittens. They bite and they scratch and they jump around. But this lion, it's 2 months old. It weighs about 20 kilos. And you can see I'm feeding it a bottle, and its paws are as big as my hand. It's got super sharp teeth, super sharp claws, and they're very strong. So I was on the ground playing with his little 4 lions, and they were really playing with me. They would drag me one place, I would jump on them. They would drag me back, I would jump on them more. Always so much fun. So never, never give up on your dreams. They can happen when you least expect them. So I do this with my own cats. I tried it with the lion. It was a lot of fun. So again, remember those 3 things. Do your best, enjoy what you do, and believe in yourself. And that belief in yourself is the most challenging. And you get that by going slow. Don't be in a hurry. In America, we have kids going to high school and university at the same time. They're rushing through their life. Don't do that. Try to just go slow and enjoy it and build your confidence. You have to have that confidence in order to be successful. And you have to have that belief in yourself. How can you expect others to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself? So you want to get that belief in yourself, and you get that by going slow and building your confidence step by step until you feel I can do anything. And when you feel you can do anything, you never have stress, you never have pressure, because you believe you can always do it. So there's never stress or pressure. And if you can enjoy everything you do, you always have fun. And this should be your life. And you can be very successful. I had one guy in university say to me, don't you ever take anything seriously? If people see you smiling and happy, they don't realize you're doing the best you can. They think you're just smiling and having fun. You're not trying, because they're so used to stress and pressure and complaining about everything. But you don't have to do that. And hopefully from this presentation, more than anything else, you'll learn to develop that belief in yourself. So we just have a couple more things, and then hopefully we'll have some time for questions. So the next thing I'm going to talk to you about is called SLS, Space Launch Systems. This is a system that's being developed right now. It's going to take astronauts to the moon and eventually to Mars. Some of you will have this opportunity. I believe it's going to be 20 or 25 years before we actually go to Mars. We could probably go to Mars tomorrow if we wanted to, but when you get to Mars, you've got to stay there for 23 months before you can come back, because of the way the planets are going around the sun. When you launch, they're further apart. When you land, they're close together. Then they're going further apart again. You have to wait until they're close enough to take off to come back. And that's 23 months. So when you get to Mars, you've got to stay there for 23 months. So it's over a 3-year mission to go to Mars and come back. That's why I think it's going to take a long time before astronauts can actually go to Mars and stay there for the 23 months. So SLS is a program that's being developed now. So I asked you to count down twice. If you counted down the first time and did your best, and counted down the next time and did your best, you got better. So I'm going to ask you to do it one more time. You will see a launch clock, a countdown clock. I think it starts at 15. So when you start at 15, just count down with it like we did the last ones. I'm going to count down with you. We do this at every launch because it's so much fun. Okay, so I can't see the clock, but count down with it. 8,
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Well, this is a huge rocket.
Every journey starts with a great ship. The Space Launch System, or SLS, will allow explorers to make greater discoveries than ever imagined. SLS will take us further than Apollo, carry more than the space shuttle, and enable unfathomable scientific breakthroughs. SLS stands on the shoulders of legacy systems and is teaming with industry, other government agencies, and academia to build the largest and most capable rocket in history. Cost-effective and efficiently designed, SLS will demonstrate new technology, foster innovation, and be the engineering marvel of our generation. Production of SLS is happening right now. Boosters are being built, engines are being tested, manufacturing has begun. The Space Launch System is an extraordinary undertaking in America's long and storied history of unthinkable human accomplishments. It's time to take the next step. The Space Launch System will lead the way.
So this is being developed right now. And if you go to the NASA site, nasa.gov, inside the vehicle assembly building where I showed you earlier, they're actually assembling this right now. They've got the main stage of the rocket, and everything comes in horizontally in the VAB, and then it's lifted vertically, and then it's stacked to go out to the launch pad. So if you're able to go to the NASA site, you can see this rocket being built right now. So the last thing I want to talk to you about, and it's really important, I do this all over the world. I've been to 14 countries doing this, and many, many cities within these countries. I think I was in at least 5 cities in India, and it was so amazing. But no matter what I do, and I do this with kids from 3 years old to adults. And India was so special because I went into this little classroom with these kids. I don't know, they were 3 or 4 years old, and they were all sitting there, and they were looking so intently, and I was talking to them, and it was just so much fun. But no matter what the age, no matter what the country, I always get asked the same question. Hey, Gabe, I'm up in space. I gotta go to the bathroom. How do you go to the bathroom in space? So this is a Canadian astronaut. He's been up on the space station. He's going to show you how you go to the bathroom in space.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry to disturb you. Your camera is off, sir.
When you go to the bathroom on Earth, you're relying on gravity.
Is it working now?
No, sir. Your camera is still off.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Sir, just click on the start video button once again, sir.
When you go to the bathroom on Earth,
working now?
You're relying on gravity pretty heavily. Imagine if you were halfway done and there were...
Is it working now?
Yes, it is working.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
It's working for me. Thank you.
Somebody shut off gravity, it would be a mess. And you'd float off the toilet. So when we designed our space toilet, first it that way. So we just have a tube that you pee into, and it has air pulled into the tube. So it's not a big deal. For the women, there's a cup fits up against them. For the guys, it's just like a little funnel. You just pee into this tube, and it goes into a sewage tank. But the solids that come out of your body, that's a harder problem to solve. And it's an important medical one, because on Earth, everything falls on the floor. But in space, it's going to float around. So it'll really make you sick. If you re-ingest something that came out of your body, it will really make you sick. And we can't afford to get that sick. So we designed a toilet that instead of gravity pulling everything into the toilet, it has air flow. There's air pulled down into the toilet, sort of windy when you're sitting there, but it pulls everything out of your body. Everything that comes out of your body gets pulled down into the toilet by the air. And then in the storage tank, we just expose that to the vacuum of space. So it basically just freeze dries everything. So it kills all the bacteria so that there's no smell. And then we just store it. And then when you have a whole bunch of it stored, we put it in a little unmanned supply ship and we undock it and it burns up in the atmosphere. So the next time you see a beautiful shooting star going across the sky, that's what it might be.
So it's very important. I want to speak to you about this movie because I show this movie. And you guys are a little older, it's not so bad. But some of the younger kids, they write back to me, no matter what I say, they write back to me, I'm never wishing on a star again. It's poop and it's gross. And I hear all this stuff. But I always tell them the same as I'm telling you, but it just doesn't register. It's a comical way of showing what goes on in space. You really can't see that ship. And we all wish on stars. We wish on stars from the time we were little kids, our whole life. We've always done that. And the next time you see a star, remember, make your wish. Go home, write it down, and say, this is my goal. And ask yourself, what steps do I take to achieve it? And plan small steps. Remember, you want those 3 things so badly. Do your best, enjoy what you do, and believe in yourself. So go slow. It helps you build that confidence. And the more confidence you have, the more you build. And again, you want to build and build until you believe you can do anything. And if you believe you can do anything, you'll never have stress and you'll never have pressure. You know, I was at work sometimes, they, Gabe, we want you to do this. Yeah, okay, give it to me. No, it's really, really hard. No, I can do it. Give it to me. No, it's super hard. Just give it to me. I can do it. And they look at me strange. They don't understand because people have been conditioned to think things are hard and difficult and to have stress and have pressure. You don't need that in your life. You can be even more successful having fun. Either way you're going to do it, it's 100% mental. But it all evolves around that belief in yourself. So few people have that, and it's so important. People say, why do we waste our money going to space? We could do so much other things with it. But you know, there's something called spin-off. Spin-off technology are things that are developed in space that we use on Earth. So many things in the space program, especially medical breakthroughs, are done in space. All of our cell phones, all of our communication, all of the things we take for granted day to day were all developed in the space program, and then they help us on the Earth. So it's going to space is not just going about to space, it's also helping us with our planet to keep it safe. Anybody can be an astronaut. You can be any age, any size, any color. Anybody can be an astronaut. And if you would like to be an astronaut, I encourage you to do that. The chances are kind of small. You may or may not make it, but it doesn't matter. Try to do it and never give up. And no matter what happens, you're going to have such a great education. You can do almost anything you want. And that concludes the presentation. Hopefully we'll have time for some questions. I'm going to stop screen sharing, and then hopefully I can interface with you a little bit this way. Are we good?
Yeah, absolutely, sir. So am I audible?
So this
hello.
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. I
Can
think
you see me?
we can't see you. If you can do just retry starting the video once.
I'm not having any videos. Let me see. Somebody says remove spotlight. Is that something to do with it?
No, nothing to do with that. If you can just retry starting the video.
Sir, actually, you have not shared your screen, sir.
No, I don't want to share the screen. I want you to see me.
Sir, just open your camera, sir. Beside the mic icon, there would be a camera icon. Just click on it, sir.
Yeah, I've been doing that. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have some time for questions, I'll be happy to answer questions or anything you'd like me to do.
Yeah, Arnav, you can continue forward.
Yeah. So do we have any questions?
Yeah, sir. First of all, I would just like to share that it was a amazing experience hearing everything about NASA. So, just I have a personal question from my side that is it very difficult, like astronauts projects NASA is performing every year, they are trying to make something, build something better, and like astronauts are there. Is it very difficult to be an astronaut and just like someone is very interested? Like how much possibilities are there that he will make a spacewalk or something like that for someone who is aspiring to be?
Yeah, well, it is. I never say difficult. I never say work, and I never say hard. I say challenge. It is definitely challenging to be an astronaut because many people want to do it, and there are very few choices. But right now is a great time because right now, many countries are trying to go to space. Many commercial companies are trying to go to space. So you're not just limited to where you can go. As more and more countries and more commercial programs developed, taking people to space to become astronauts, you will have more opportunities. But it is very challenging because so many people want to do it and very few are selected. But that's okay. You know, try to do it. You might be the one that makes it. Most of the astronauts, when you talk to them, they say, man, I was so lucky I got this, you know? So it's a question of, can you get it? Can you not? But always try. And as things progress, you will have more opportunities.
Definitely so. Sir, I would like to call all my professors and directors, sir, if they want to make some conversation. Aman,
Yes.
if you can just provide them the access.
Actually, they already have access.
Okay.
Arnav, you can continue with the question. Arnav, just continue with your question.
Okay. Okay, fine then. Yes, sir. Sir, also you talked about that prototype that was being operated on the Mars that was capturing some moments in every 7 meters, and like it was capturing all the images and videos on the Mars itself. Sir, is that prototype completely like operated from the Earth itself while it is working, or it is just automated from earlier itself?
No, it's controlled from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. It's responding to commands giving it what to do. It's not doing it on its own. But the rover that's up there now, Perseverance, I believe Perseverance has the capability to do things on its own. But this was about 18 years ago. The technology was much different then than it is now. So at that time, it did not have any capability to do things on its own.
Also, sir, you spoke about that there was a possibility of Mars, Mars used to look like Earth initially, maybe thousands of years ago, having water on its surface and oceans. So actually, what exactly happened? Did human life life went to extinction on Mars?
Well, they really don't know. That's one of the things they're trying to explore. They know that because of the solar storms and solar flares eroding Mars's atmosphere, that many things that may have been alive, and it's billions of years ago, could have died during that process. So they're hoping there still may be some microscopic life or something may still be alive on Mars today. But they don't know the extent of life billions and billions of years ago. They just think that there was some form of life because the planet was so similar to Earth.
Okay, well, that's great. Sir, we have one of our seniors, actually, she is our alumni. If we can have some conversations with her as well. Aman, sure. Can you just pin Girija ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hi, Gabe. So nice to see you, meet you. Such a pleasure. I, as a child, had my dream of being an astronaut. And when I was studying in George Mason University, there was a Goddard Space Research Center in George Mason University, and I would often visit their lab. And such a pleasure. I know it's very late for me in my 50s to go to NASA, but then nevertheless, I keep following, and I had sent my children 2 years back to NASA to visit and be in the campus for a week. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. I will tell you something I'm not sure if you're aware, but when the United States space program first started in the Mercury days, before they had any astronauts at all, at the beginning of the space program, America went out and tried to solicit people to be astronauts for the Mercury program. So there were 13 women who all qualified every step. They did everything the guys did. 13 women who all passed every physical test, every mental test, they all passed. Not one was selected. And they are called the Mercury 13. Well, one of those Mercury 13 women, who is now 82 years old, is getting the opportunity to go to space, I think this month, July 11th. So if you just Google Mercury 13, I think her first name is Wally. I don't remember her last name, but it's an amazing story that she's getting, 60 years later, she's getting to do something she was qualified for and should have been selected, because at that time, again, it was controlled by men. So men were making all the decisions, and they made the decision that women were not strong enough or fit enough to do it. So none of the women during those early days ever got the opportunity. And that is one of my favorite things about the shuttle program. The shuttle program changed America's space program because with the shuttle program, we had so many women engineers and women in all fields getting involved in the space program. So now it's not 50-50, but they're getting a lot more all of the time. So I thought I'd pass that on to you because it's pretty fun to think about.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're
Wonderful.
welcome. I think and it was funny. She said, I'm so excited. I can't wait to go, you know, and she's 82, but you can see in her face, she's a little kid. She's overjoyed at this opportunity.
Perfect. And I completely agree with your three things, which is that do your best, have fun, whatever you're doing. And the third thing, believe in yourself. I do all the three, and thankfully it was so much resonating with your idea, my principles. Thank you so much.
I can see in your smile that you do all those things. You know, people say to me, you're always smiling. I say, I'm always happy. How can you be happy? Why not? You know? So it's a conditioned state of mind. People have grown up thinking, work hard, stress, pressure, and they learn that and they live it, and they don't know you have a choice. So I'm like you. I'm always having fun, and I've always been very successful. One time I actually got criticized for being too happy at work. Somebody said to me, you can't be doing anything, you're always smiling. And I said, what do you mean I can't do anything? No, you have to have stress and pressure. I'm doing more than you. And they finally realized I was and became a very big supporter. But people are so conditioned to be full of stress and pressure and working hard, they don't realize life can be fun. And you can be equally, maybe even more successful.
Yes. Yeah. And incidentally, I'm also involved with the Minamata Convention in India, which is a convention to control mercury pollution. So there is hope. I have written a couple of papers also, research publications on Minamata Convention and mercury pollution. So I will definitely look up NASA's mercury program. And
yeah, the Mercury 13, yes, remember,
Mercury
yeah.
13. Thank you
and
so
you
much.
can watch her. I think it's July 11th. I'm not sure, but it's pretty soon. One of the commercial companies is taking her to space. So it's very soon, and it's going to be very, very special for her and all of those who follow her.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Namaste.
You're very welcome. My pleasure. My heart to use.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. I just want to request that if you can do the favor of announcing the results of our recent events that has been organized in the final page.
Yes, I would be happy to do that. But before I do it, I want to apologize in case I get any names wrong. I'm going to try to pronounce them the best I can, but I will try to do my best. So for graphic design, the top 5 is Rian, Sharisti, Christina, Avika, and Pranaya. Did I say those right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for programming, the top 5 was Harsh, Ovian, Sagar, and Shreth. Hopefully I got those right. For robotics, it's Tejas, Dhruv, Yash, Andy, and everything on our way. So Manam and Obian. Did I say them close to right? I hope.
Yes, close enough.
Okay, so for web design, Balbihaf, Artika, I hope I'm saying these right, Ishan, Vishal, and Ambreen. For AppD, it's Udipan, Pranit, Dhruv, Anaya, and Tejas. Okay, so I'm trying to see. Okay, for WebD, top 5. Balibal, I hope I'm saying these right. Bardika, Ishan, Vishal, Ambreen. And also Udipan and Pranit. Did I get them right?
Yeah,
so
I
want to congratulate you all for achieving those goals. That's interesting, and it's very, very a great accomplishment and a great to get that recognition. I hope in the future, when you're involved with things like this, you'll have fun doing it and really enjoy. You know, I talk about one day, just one day. If you can just take one day and only focus on that one day, no matter what happens, just for one day, enjoy everything you do. Just have fun. It doesn't matter. You can find positive or negatives. Either way, they're there. So just for one day, try that and do that every day, just one day at a time. I hope you will learn to apply that because your life should be fun. And when I was in India, I just love being around the Indian people because everyone was always happy. Everyone was always excited. And I love the way you speak English. You almost sing it. It's really, really nice to hear, but I don't understand it. Sometimes you speak a little bit quickly and I'm, wait, what are you saying? But I am so thankful to India and Indian people and all my friends I've made in India. It's been great. And I really hope I can come back.
Yeah, we will look forward to have you again in our institute as well. But before we end, our core team has prepared something. Basically, it's from the side of our institute. One of the very juniors who has prepared a very lovely gift for you. Aman, can we have it? Here it goes.
Wow, that's awesome. That's amazing. Thank you so much. You know, when I was in India, I got so many wonderful gifts. I don't know if you can see this. I don't know if you can see on the wall there. I have some gifts, and I have gifts from India all over my room. So India's with me a lot, and I'm writing. And actually, hopefully, I have a very good friend, Anisha. She's here in Florida. She's from India. Her parents immigrated from India, and I'm hoping she's watching this. So Anisha, today is July 4th. I will see you in a little while. We're going to a swim party. So I wanted to say hi to her and let everybody know that in America, there are many Indian people living here who have become Americans and are great citizens and are all sharing in our special day today.
The picture credit, basically the digital art, the graphic designing that you saw was prepared by one of our students in the institute named Supriya. So if you can just express how did you like to Supriya, she would be glad.
Yes, Supriya, I think everything was fantastic. The graphics were great. The way everything was organized was great. I am very, very thankful, and I am thankful for the opportunity. It's so much fun for me. People think I do a lot, but I get so much from it, and the best way is to be there in person. So again, thank you for everything you did. It was awesome. Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Please remember, if you write to me, don't call me sir.
Okay, it's just Gabe. So I would like to call my core team of BeingArtifex. If you all can just unmute and have an interactive session with Gabe. I'm lucky to be here and just making frequent interactions with you, but my team isn't that much. Aman?
Yeah, hi Gabe. It was very lovely interaction session from your side. We have loved it and we will never forget it. In my entire life, I am always going to remember you as one of the most legendary person who is always happy and who's always smiling. You're one of the most inspiring person that I have met in my life right now. Thank you very much, sir.
You are very welcome. And you know, this means so much to me. And all I try to do is help others have a good life. I lead a very good life and I'm no different than any of you. I want you to understand, you know, I'm a burger flipper from McDonald's, you know, and so I've come from McDonald's here. So anybody can accomplish anything, but you have to have that belief in yourself.
Thank you very much, sir, for your presence. And on behalf of whole team, being a coordinator, I would love to say that they have enjoyed a lot. And even if they are not here to say that right now, even if they are muted, even on the behalf of all the participants, it's a great honor and a great privilege for us to have you here today. Thank you very much, sir, for taking out some.
You're very
it's
welcome.
Also motivating, like the last 2 hours were just motivating, and they were just giving the energy to do best in the upcoming many years. So
yes,
that was really, yeah. Thank you so much for this. I would like everyone to just switch on their cams so that we can take a quick screen stop. Just everyone.
It's great. I can see you.
So these are the little champs that are actually participating in the whole event. These are actually
Yes,
like
sir.
from the 9th to 15th only. So they are doing great, sir. In their life, they are doing very great, sir.
Wonderful. I'm very happy for all of you and very proud of you. And you should feel good about yourself. This is most important. Anytime you accomplish something, remind yourself when you have another challenge, I did the last thing, I can do this. And you build that confidence and you build that confidence and you feel good about yourself. Once you do that, your life will be so much easier.
Sir, can I ask you something, sir?
Of course.
So I wanted to ask, like all the people right now watching this stream might have doubts, like in their life, like whatever path currently I'm walking on, is it right or not? Like these students in the starting, they might have some doubts in their mind, like they are going to opt something like web development, app development, robotics, graphic designing, or computer programming. Is it really helpful or not? And BeingArtifex actually doing a great part on it. So will it be worth it or not, sir?
Well, you know, everybody's different. So you have to, whatever your goals are and whatever your dreams are, you have to stay flexible because, you know, I talk a little bit about dreams and goals and people think it's so important to achieve the goal, but achieving the goal is not important. The journey to get there is important because often when you get there, it's not what you thought and you want to do something else, but you never know until you get there. But if you make the trip there fun, if you have fun and you get there and this isn't what I want, you will jump into something else because you had fun. If you had a miserable time getting there, you don't want to do anything else. And often, even when we establish a goal and we complete it, we set another one. So you're constantly going in different directions. And the journey is so, so important. Yeah, we never really know for sure, but we take each day and we do our best and we enjoy that day and we build our confidence. And somewhere along the line, you know, one of the most difficult things for me is understanding, what do you want to do? My twin sister, when she was 3 years old, she knew what she wanted to do. She was so lucky because she just did it. For me, I didn't have a clue. I wanted to go to the beach. I wanted to play sports. That's all I wanted to do. So when my parents said, what are you going to do when you grow up? I don't know. I'm going to play sports. No, you're not good enough, you know, but that was my mentality. So if you are fortunate, and if you don't have a clue what you want to do, ask yourself, what would be the most fun thing I can do? Whatever that is, it doesn't matter. Write it down, make it your goal, and then plan the steps to achieve it. And in through the course of getting there, something will pop into your head, something will change, and you will know. But in the meantime, look, it's very difficult to do something when you don't know what it is. So you have to have goals. You have to have a reason to do something. And you do that by establishing goals. So you want to establish your goals, but you want to stay flexible too, because we learn every day. And what we learn today may change what we want to do tomorrow, which is fine. But to me, it's all about enjoying what you do and having small steps to build your confidence. I hope that helps.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. So one last request from our side. So can you just, so all the core team members who have done so much great efforts and put up like all his times and her time in this whole event, like we were working for about 3 months for it. So it would be, we would be very grateful to you if you could just encourage them for this kind of effort, sir.
Yeah, I really, really do. Look, I travel around a lot when we don't have the pandemic. I'm traveling around and I know how much preparation goes into these visits. And I know with you, I've been talking with you, what, for a couple of months now about this, or at least a month. We've been planning just what I'm going to do. And I know you all have been doing so many things and we've tried to narrow it down. And I know everybody, I'm all about team. You know, I'm as good as everybody around me. And I'm only as good as I can help you get to be. So for all of those who chip in and all of those who help, I totally, totally understand your effort. And I am very thankful that you did that. And I hope you learned and had fun in the process. And from this, you will go further and build on that. But again, from I always say from my heart to yours. I thank you so much. And I mean that sincerely.
Thank you very much, sir. Arnav, please.
You have to say Gabe and not sir.
Okay, Gabe. Actually,
Okay.
sir,
Thank you.
it's from the respect we have for you, sir.
Yeah, I understand. But, you know, I want you to think of me as a burger flipper from McDonald's or a beach bum. And then you can call me Gabe.
Okay, sir.
That's the person inside.
Okay,
You
Gabe.
know?
Okay, Gabe. Okay, Gabe.
It's just wonderful. You came as a BFX talk guest, and you are just leaving us as a friend. And
Yes.
it's just amazing and spending time with you. So we're thank you for your precious time. I think almost everything we have planned and everything beyond we have planned, we have witnessed it in today's evening. It was a wonderful evening out there, everyone. And we just had a great time.
Okay, I just want to quickly say I'm getting a lot of messages and a lot of press on my phone. So I will answer everyone. I promise I will answer everyone, but it might take a few days because I have so many and I'm doing many other things, but I promise you, I will answer you. If you have written to me and I don't answer, write to me again. Hey, Gabe, why didn't you answer me? And I will answer. It's very, very important to me to answer everybody who writes to me. If you take the time to write to me, I will find the time to respond to you. I promise that.
That was something valuable. Everyone just type thanks, Gabe, or just welcome Gabe in the chat box. That's maximum in this COVID situations we can do. And thank you so much. And we are very glad to have you in today's evening.
Yeah, it's my pleasure and my honor. And I always say equal. I want you to always think equal. The relationship we have, I'm so happy to be with you. And if you're happy to be with me, it's equal. I always want to think equal.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
So with this, finally, eventually we come to the end of our ending session. And that's all for today's talk. And I hope you guys enjoyed it and having a learning and experiencing some motivating speech from our chief guest, Gabe. He just came as a guest and now he's leaving as a friend of ours. So each and every candidate out there who attended it and was a part of this evening. And I wish you all the best for future. Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you a lot. Arnab, is it the time to just end this live stream, or we have left something?
Yeah. I think we are done with all the scheduled things and maybe more than that. So it's okay, all done. Let's just not fetch much more time and let's end it here. We will look forward to have you in many more events as well, Gabe, and to our institute as well when the pandemic is over. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, so a last message for everyone. Participants, we will be releasing the results on your WhatsApp groups and all. So if you haven't got your name, we'll be releasing rankings and all. So don't worry, you'll be getting it. And the most important thing is any one of you who has just joined the meet in between, and if you have missed any a single part of the PL that Gabe has provided us, I'm not gonna go say sir this time. Okay, so Gabe has provided us a huge ocean of knowledge. If you have just continued in between, if you have missed any part, we have live streamed this on our BeingArtifex official channel. You can go on YouTube, search BeingArtifex. You'll get our channel. We have live streamed everything. And to all the participants, it's my humble request, hold-handed, that you can just share this video to your friends, flex them your knowledge that you have gained what you have just made so much of mesmerizing personalities. So show your friends, put a story of your photo with Gabe photo with a personality in NASA and put that in story everywhere. Okay. So it's a request. We are just ending the stream now. But if in case you have missed any part of this stream, just go to YouTube, just fetch it out and just watch it again. Or otherwise, if you have watched whole the video, you might have been zoned out in between. Otherwise, you just go and recheck all the stream again. You will get the knowledge a lot. Okay. And just put, this is a request to every participant, just put a story of yours with Gabe. You might have taken the screenshot, or if you haven't,
we have taken the screenshot, we will upload it, and you can just put it in your story of Facebook, Instagram, or any. And today's evening was a lot fun. We have learned a lot, we have enjoyed a lot, and it's time to say bye. Take care, peace out, bye. Okay.
Everyone, you could leave the meets, and I use you could stop the live stream.
And thank you everyone for coming.
Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks. Don't forget to put the stories, okay? Yeah.